this is amazing. It was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Water.
It's motorsport, but not as you know it. Test yourself and your everyday road car. Safe, affordable, but most of all, fun. And all you need is your daily driver. Experience the thrill of a sprint day. Race against the clock at a hill climb. Or test your reflexes with an auto test. It takes just 3 simple steps to get started. Get on the start line. Search Motorsport Australia Daily Driver today.
Fishies in a row. They're here to make a point and to do Eddie proud. They fan out in the background as they come down to turn 1 for the first time. It all looks pretty good, 2 by 2. We'll stop the camera here. Oh, Eddie would be proud, mate. That was awesome run around turn 1. But, oi! Contact with the fishies.
He's made it through. It doesn't look like Angus has made it, but Thomas Freeman's made it through, and Angus is going to suffer the crowd coming through there to be able to turn his car around. Woo.
I love riding. It's a real social thing. There's a great bond between riders.
Every weekend I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other.
Riding to work is a great way to start the day.
Shannons insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. They offer features riders really want. It's why they're one of Australia's leading motorcycle insurance providers.
Whatever you ride, whatever you ride,
Whatever you ride.
ride with Shannons.
Call 134646 for a quote.
And they are off. It was a good start from Dylan de Bono. I think Phil Vella got a great start there in the background as well. You can see already cars going 5, 6 wide as they're trying to find any semblance of space. They come into T1. So far we've got 2, 3 wide as they snake down. There's Michael Conchar that's got around Dylan de Bono. A couple of cars going wide there. Was that a bit of contact in the back? Scott Pocock caught up in that, I think, there, buddy. But it's Michael Cuttajar's got past, so Dylan...
light is coming out and we're about to get going, and we have green lights and a very slow start for the 86s, but they are moving out there on the grid. It would be very interesting to see exactly which driver can capitalise on this first lap. Just go through the grid. Look like Jamie Christensen had a really awesome start to get ahead of Dylan de Bono, and Doug Gowage also jumped his teammate as well, so unfortunately Dylan stalled the car a little bit more than what he preferred. But
Weekend in, weekend out, Motorsport Australia officials are making waves. From waving flags, waving cars through pit lane, or responding to a wave for help. Wave hello to new lifelong friends. Who knows, you might just make waves around the world. Ride the first wave. Search Motorsport Australia officials today.
Still great classes of car, and if you are able to, if you're coming up the ranks on iRacing through the licenses, it's a fantastic sort of laneway into prototype driving, going from that GT3 up through the prototype classes as the safety car pulls in and we get ready to go green as we come up towards the line. Edwards, Hasler, who's going to get the jump down to turn 1, or will any of the fishies, any of the piranhas in behind them, assault them down towards
green and they're
this
off.
first lap? Let's go here.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons,
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover,
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be
Shannon's.
Shannon's, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 134646 for a quote.
This is amazing. It was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tanek and Jamie Dyson just absolutely drove away from us. Hayden trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the inside, but he hasn't implemented it, which is fair enough. It's very scary out there, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's see if we get a good run. Dodd's just absolute thinker, but it is a really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're watching from, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Sim Racing World TV for round number 8. We're at the second last week of season number 1 here. We're here for the Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars series out at Circuit d'Hiver Magny Cours. The second time we've been here this season across all of SRWtv, but for the first time here in the Supercars this season. Hamish Munro here, joined alongside me is Steve Sinkovic. Sinker, after a pretty up and down round last time out at Hockenheim, and obviously the great highs that were Motegi the week before, we come in here tonight to Magny Cours, sprint action, 2 races here tonight. Should offer us up some good action out at a track that it kind of goes either way, doesn't it, if you're going to get some carnage or not, but should also get some good battles nonetheless.
100%, 100%. I'm looking forward to it. Sprint rounds are my favourite. I love the extra edge that the drivers drive on, because they've got that. They don't have that whole race to sort of like work their way up from the back or where they're at. The qualities are a bit more important as well. Then you got the reverse top 10. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. And I really like this track. I've only driven it a few times now, and it's a lot of fun. I love the way it works. We've got a few key points where we're going to see some passing and diving, like we saw at I can't remember what that other new track we did the other day was, but like we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 hairpins, and all based at the end of long straights. So they're going to be some tough points where people are going to be able to dive in and make some moves.
Mate, you know from first-hand experience how easy it is here to make a mistake. Obviously, when we're here for the F3s, down at the end of the second straight, up into, I think it was turn 4, you took out the leader in the F3, so you know better than anyone how easy it is to make a mistake here.
I did.
So it's going to be important for the drivers to make sure not to get caught up in a moment like that.
Not only that, the draft is really powerful on this track.
Yeah.
Really powerful. You've got the start-finish line comes on that soft left-hander and goes into a really long sweeping right-hander, which gives you the momentum to pick up all the way through to that first hairpin. So the draft is really powerful, and under brakes, you got to not be a numbnut like I was, and I just completely under-anticipated the amount of drag I was going to get off the back of that car.
Yeah, I think it's it's a corner that can catch drivers out sometimes. Maybe it was a little bit of a brain fade that came into it as well, though, but it's still a spectacular moment nonetheless. I don't know if we're going to see anything like that in the supercar tonight, but maybe we could. But yeah, I think maybe just a brain fade at that corner. But we have seen some spectacular dives into there. We're on that corner at the moment, but we've seen some spectacular dives into that corner before, which can lead to some mishaps between drivers. They kind of overestimate themselves and catch themselves out on the inside of the corner, and all of a sudden the car's spun round. But a couple other spots we're going to have to be careful of as well. The final chicane can catch drivers out. We've seen some drivers really just shoot off into the wall on the right-hand side.
It really sucks, that braking point.
It does.
In the right-hander before the final chicane, that braking point is really, really deceiving.
Yeah.
I think it's a little bit downhill, so you got to brake that a little bit earlier than what you anticipate, and it can suck you in, like it did me nearly every time I went around it, till I realised, oh, duh, it's downhill a bit here, man. Brake a bit earlier so you can get yourself in a really good position, because you want that cross across the start-finish line to be smooth and fast as well. So that chicane is another key point.
Well, I mean, we always speak about maximising those exits, don't we? But other points of interest, obviously, the kind of 90-degree, 180-degree really actually, hairpin that's kind of in the infield of the circuit. It's basically in line with what is turn 3. Catches a lot of drivers out. We saw, namely, we saw Dean make mistakes there. We saw yourself make mistakes there, and other drivers alike in the F3s, where you kind of catch yourself out, carry a little bit too much speed, and all of a sudden the car's spun round. And then as well, after the sort of second to last chicane, you come up to the right, which is kind of the precursor to that final back straight. See a lot of drivers get caught out there as well. They kind of come up the hill, brake, and I think they carry a little bit too much speed up the hill, and that's what catches them out.
And
you
in
can see them run
F3, you
wide.
go flat out through there. You don't actually back off. You go flat out right up, and you're flying into that last corner before the straight, obviously. And then, you've got to get that again, another point where you've got to get their exit out spot on.
Well, our practice session has now come to an end, Sinker, so we're going to get ready to go qualifying here tonight at Magny Cours. We mentioned the areas of danger that drivers are going to have to be careful of here tonight. What I think drivers are also going to have to be careful of, though, is just really getting into that rhythm, getting into that groove. This is a track that can almost break your spirits a little bit when you get out of your groove and you get out of what you would preferably like to do, which is get into that rhythm and just cut some laps and really just keep your head down, where having an incident or a little moment or getting into a battle that's kind of not going your way can really catch the drivers out sometimes. So we're just going to have to be careful of, again, mitigating the mistakes, maximising the runs, as we always say. It's probably the most crucial thing in the supercar is maximising those runs. And there's plenty of opportunities for drivers to make the mistakes here tonight. So we could see some spicy action and possibly even some shake-ups in the order. Now, obviously the big rising star so far in the amateur field, Brett Taylor. This bloke's had 3 podiums in a row, Sinker. Like, he is on absolute fire at the moment. Could be hoping to continue that running tonight by getting a 4th.
Yeah, it'd be like, I don't know who'd be happier, me and you, because we're seeing someone rising through the ranks, or him, because he keeps chasing that cat down the street. I don't know if he's finally caught it or not, but it's been a lot of fun watching him rise through the ranks. And come on, mate, what about the other big news?
It's maybe big news for you. I don't know about the general public. It's big news.
Mate,
but
come
it was mentioned on Sunday night that Jamie Davis, Josh King, and Brad Anderson have joined Team SRW Motorsport, so they're now part of your side. We're just going to bring up, as the drivers come around to start their qualifying laps, so bring up our AM standings in just a moment here. I'm just getting it all set up so it looks all nice on screen. So we're currently lined up with 2 rounds to go. Now, this week is the final possibility of the round Sinker.
Yes,
but
correct.
It's Dan Shilsley in the way for Performance Sim Racing, 5 points ahead after a drop round of Stephen Martin in P2, a further 3 points ahead of Blake Fitzpatrick in P3, and then Brett Taylor just lurking his way up, sneaking his way up into the top 4, 17 points off the back. So those are our 4 championship competitors. Sean Vandermeulen a little bit too far off the pace with 144 points off the back of Taylor, but that really just comes down to the fact that he's missed a couple of rounds. But this week, final possibility of the drop round is going to be important. If Taylor wants to get into that top 3 battle for the final race of the season, that he needs to do well here tonight and try not to cop a worse performance than his previous worst, which was the previous drop round. But I have to wait and see how he goes. The 4 drivers are going to be looking at is Schultze, Martin, Fitzpatrick, and Taylor in that battle. We will get up, though, our Pro-Am standings as well. And this is just kind of the top of the town and how they're kind of settling in. Crosby, he's got one hand on the trophy at the moment, so the 75 points is the gap. Back to Rick Viger in P2 for Angry Birds Racing, and a further 29 points back to Darren's teammate Stephen Kennedy in P3, and then Cowie's in P4, 53 points off the back. Michael Quash, though, equal on points with Cowie after drop rounds, and then Billy Moles only a point off the back of those boys. So it's a nice tight battle there kind of for P4 in the championship, and then P1 is kind of locked out at this stage where they'll be kind of hoping that mistakes can get made and that they can kind of just mitigate them and try and just do better than their cohorts. But first quality laps are in. Billy Mole goes top of the timing tower, but Dooley does one better with a 1:39 there in qualifying. So he currently sits provisional pole position. He was only just in the 9s as well. It was a .990, so there's absolutely nothing in it. But the time's only going to get fast as well. Crosby slightly off the pace here as he runs wide out at turn 3. He's P5 in the standings at the moment.
Crosby and Kennedy made a debut on Sunday night into the Pro-Am series and had a bit of a spin and did really well.
Now, Sinker, I know that you gave me the news prior to the show, and I just want to confirm if we can reveal the renews of possibly the best kept or the worst kept secret in SRW, if we can.
Well, here he is on a purple.
He is on a purple
ring. He's got himself a great time. He likes the blue, so I'm not too sure how good the blue looks.
That
but
wasn't
this is
the news I was talking about, Sinker.
What was the news, mate?
The news you told me before the broadcast.
Oh no, look, that's not
confirmation news.
confirmed yet. We can't share that just yet.
Come
Yeah,
on.
we've got a little bit of work to do, and I've got to still run it past the team. But we can. That looks all right. It looks nice. Yeah, I don't mind it at all. We are talking about having a Hamish has been in my ear about doing Porsches on a Sunday before the V8s. There is a possibility it may happen. Well, I'm going to put it through to our admins and discuss it and do the pros and cons, but also possibly Monday night after the Formula V TCR Championship as well. That's all depending on us getting sponsors to pay for it, because we have no money. And we'd love to put it on, but we need to cover the bills. We need to cover the broadcasting and the RCs and everything else that goes with it. So yes, there is conversations had. Yes, we would like to do it. Yes, there is still a lot of boxes that need to be ticked before we can do it. But that is a plan. Also, I think me and Hamish just had a chat about the overlap with Scops on a Sunday. Possibly having, once we go over the schedule for next season, having our Sunday race against Scops move to possibly Sunday morning. So that way our drivers can still participate in Scops and don't have to feel guilty about not coming to the races and stuff like that. It just opens it up to them having the best opportunity to do really well in Scops as well, because we like seeing our drivers do really well there.
And maybe just another point on that, Sinker, maybe lining up those races that are on earlier on the Sunday, maybe around about midday, maybe the calendar reflects the Scops race that's that night. So
Possibly.
drivers can then use the race during the Sunday, during the middle of the day, as practice for their Scops run later in the day.
Yeah, possibly.
Or
that
if
is.
they haven't made the cut and they're in SRW, at least their practice wouldn't have been for nothing throughout pre-qualifying. They still get to race at that track on the Sunday as well. So
Correct.
Could be something to think about too going forward, just to make it a little bit more marketable as well. Just say, hey, you know what? We know that Scops is running in line with this. We're going to move our race to a bit earlier in the day. Come and race with us. Use it as a bit of a pre-race practice. Or again, if you didn't make the cut for Scops, your practice doesn't go for nothing, because you can race here with us this time during that day. So.
Yeah, it is definitely one of the options we're looking at. We're also looking at having the Sunday morning race as a enduro, so that the boys can get in there and have a bit of fun as a team as well. So, look, there's a few things we want to talk about, things we want to test out and try. But we're always looking at opinions and perspectives from the drivers, and we're a community-based league. That's why we look at it, and we always try to take feedback as much as possible. I mean, we're not here to rule with an iron fist. We've proven that in the past, and we like to work with the drivers to make sure that everyone's having fun. That's a key thing here, fun.
That's what sim racing is all about, isn't it? It's about having fun and about being inclusive as best you can as well. Peter Vanderkrant, he should have set a lap time here in qualifying, but he was actually the fastest man in practice. So we'll have to wait and see what he can do. But he mucks up, turn 4, and that's only going to ruin his run again.
Schultz on a green second sector. He be wanting to finish as high as possible to get himself in a really good position for this race. It is a 2040, isn't it?
It is, yes.
Yes, it's
regular
a 2040
sprint round format.
There was a question I saw someone ask. There was a 2040. So tonight is the qualifying. Then we'll go to a 20-minute session, a 10-minute break, reverse top 10, and a 40-minute race to the end. And good morning to you too, JP. Good morning. Good morning, you sexy gentlemen. Thank you very much. At least someone thinks that my wife has lost me.
Even though JP may not have necessarily seen both of our sexy mugs, he knows that we are just the epitome of attraction here in SRW, isn't that right, Singer? But Mitch in there is also saying, "G'day, lads. I'll be watching from the sidelines this week as I'm in Melbourne for the Grand Prix, hoping for a good race. Good luck to the SRW boys. Go get them, lads." So great to have them both in the chat. If anyone else is out there, hop into the chat as well. Let us know what you think of this track, what you think of the car track combination, and what you're hoping to see here tonight as well, leading into the final round next week.
So the other two drivers, apart from Jamie Davis, is Brad Anderson and Josh King. Unfortunately, I didn't realise they drive Commodores, because I reckon they're a piece of crap. But I will have some new sexy liveries for them next week, and we'll have a complete update this in the following season. The boys can drive the team SRW.
The ZB
flag.
crewman is sick. The ZB crewman is. Maybe we'll see a crewman out there here tonight if someone gets rear-ended in a Commodore. But Brett Taylor still yet to do a qualifying lap here tonight, or at least one that is eligible. He's had a very impressive season so far in the amateurs, and really putting his mark in there that he could be a Pro-Am next season if he can do well here across the final 2 rounds. Qualifying, though, not looking as positive as it has been in the previous weeks. Same for Peter Vandergren. We know he's got the pace in the car. It's whether he can keep it clean and consistent over the course of qualifying, get a lap in, and then also stay nice and clean in the race. He's had some mishaps this season, so maybe a season to forget, but also a good chance to learn and reset coming into season 2 in a couple of weeks' time.
Craig Healy's on a green first sector, car number 17. Everyone else is sitting in the oranges. I think people are having trouble with some of these corners and finding their braking points under quality conditions. The other thing, don't forget, is next week. This is the penultimate round. Next week for the final... Is this the penultimate? Yes.
Yeah, it's penultimate round, yes.
Yeah. Next week for the final round, we have a top 10 shootout. We're finishing off the season of top 10 shootout, so that's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And some of these boys, Hamish, haven't done it yet.
No, that's right. But it's not only just that as well, it's undroppable either. So it means that they need to try and do well next week if they want to really maximise on their season. You know, if they're going to have a drop round and they haven't had a really bad round so far, well, this is the week to have it, because otherwise you're kind of going into next week with all the pressure on your shoulders to try and do well just to make up for what you've done throughout the season. But Healy throws the lap away, unfortunately, in the end. Has to bring it in.
Damn, I thought he was really going to make it.
I've just noticed there's a new spec map on that car, so a nice little silver look for the East West Racing car. We'll see if Scotty Weston, his teammate, also has it. He does indeed.
It looks good.
It does look good. I did prefer the white. I did prefer the white because it was nice and bright. You can notice it on track, but it's not an egregious change. It still looks really nice. For sure, but I did like the white because they looked like the actual transporters.
Hang on. Nice, I've got to take the piss out of Harry Dodds. Hang on. Because you say GM's a bad Cinco. How's the Ford doing in real life world V8? What is a GM and what is a Holden, mate? Do they still exist?
Not just that. Ford there's less Fords in supercars than there are Chevys. So it's not really a fair comparison. Cowie at the moment, he's P6 as well. Pulls off though at the end of this lap. So drivers really struggling out there.
They are 2.5 minutes left, and they've got to be on their out laps now to get on.
That's right, because it cuts off at the 15.
On the money.
They don't get to finish it after the 15 minutes is up, being sprint round.
Oh, Crosby's just moved up a spot to 4th.
Kennedy's though gone purple in the first, so this could be a mega lap from him.
He might. Oh, he's attacking it. He's attacking it real well.
He's doing a very good job. This was the corner we were speaking about. Really tough corner here, the long left. Very easy to lose the rear end. Does well, though, just to, again, mitigate the mistakes and try and keep it as clean as possible now. So Kennedy, though, could be an absolute flyer. Coming up to the end of the second, he does personal best in the second sector. So this could be good enough for pole at the moment.
He's attacked that well.
That was a bit of an awkward run, a little bit wide, but still lined up the next corner nicely. Oh, I don't know. This final sector looking a little bit sloppy from him.
It's green. It's green. It's the main thing. It's green. Yeah. This is the braking point we're talking about coming downhill. It's really, really throws you. See how it goes downhill and just comes up a little bit.
Little bit of a slide through there.
Yep.
Is it good enough for pole? Through the final chicane he comes. Could it be his final run of the night? Crosses the line. It's good enough. Not for it's not even an improvement. But Davis though, P8. I thought that last sector really hurt him there. It was just
Davis is on purple. Here he goes.
But Kennedy's
team SRW.
Look at it.
Flag.
You know what actually, Sinker? What might have actually looked nice is if you'd actually kind of had like a half and half, where like it's kind of white across the bottom of the car and blue kind of across the top.
The plan was Warren and Brown have got this fade that they do behind the logo. The plan was to have that fade going like a stripe down the middle of down the side of the car, but I didn't have time, mate. That'll be for stage 2 for next season. But look at him go. The car looks good. He's getting it up on 2 wheels. He's getting on the outer of the, holding as much as he can. Every apex covered. Oh, a little bit of a wiggle. That'll cost him a little bit of time.
I was just going to say then, it's again, that really wide run through there. I reckon that's what cost Kennedy in the last lap. Davis, though, hasn't affected him nearly as much. He runs it slightly wide as well. Gets a nice entry, though, into the final chicane. Is it good enough for an improvement here?
Green. And he's
P3, so he picks Kennedy.
He's just moved Kennedy down. Whew.
Peter Pavlovich gives it up. That's the end of qualifying. So we'll bring up our starting grid for our first race here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, when it becomes available to us. Here it is. Troy Dooley will start pole position for Performance Sim Racing with an exceptional effort here tonight. He's done well in previous weeks. Could this be the real breakout moment for him, though, on the Tuesday nights? Billy Mole, P2, alongside with Jamie Davis and Stephen Kennedy making up the second row of the grid. Darren Crosby will then make up the top 5, so not a bad qualifying there from the P1 in the championship at the moment, with Peter Pavlovic starting alongside him in P6. Travis Daly and Andrew Cowan will start on the 4th row of the grid, former teammates lining up alongside each other once again this season. Rick Weigel will start at a P9. Had a Daniel Clutterbuck making up the top 10, with Peter Vanderkrant just missing out in qualifying on a top 10 start. Stephen Martin will then start P1 for the amateurs, P12 on the road, with Sean Vandermeulen in behind alongside Daniel Schultz. So then Blake Fitzpatrick and Marty Hansen along in behind them, with Josh King and Brett Taylor lining up in behind. Craig Healy and Scott Weston, the teammates, East West Racing, Junior Logistics, they'll make up the top 20 in behind, with Brad Anderson and Thomas Freeman. Our race controller will be there, Stephen, yourself, and then Tyson McAvoy. Obviously, you guys didn't set time, so Anderson will line up on the back of the grid.
That's where I usually start, mate. Come on. But have a look at the grid split up. Pro-Ams and AMs.
Yeah.
It's they've all sort of fallen into their pecking order tonight.
They have. So we'll
interesting. Schultz is sitting 3 places down. He needs to get some mega points tonight to put one hand on the trophy. Who's our other ones that are fighting up the front? Remind me again.
Kennedy's been involved too for the Pro-Am. Mole's a little bit too far away at this stage. Cowie's somewhat in there, but needs to get a good result. I think Cowie realistically needs a win here tonight if he wants to try and gain anything over Kennedy and Crosby, and just hope that they have a bit of an off night. But it's going to be on for young and old out there between all the drivers. Weiger's involved in the championship too. He lines up in behind Cowie. He's P9 on the road. So Cowie and him will have to have a similar run up towards the front if they hope to maximise tonight's results. And then for our amateurs, of course, Vandermeulen, he starts P2, but he's out of the championship running for that class. Taylor's a bit further back in the field. Schultze and Martin, those guys are involved too, so it could be on here for the majority field tonight, but we wait for the rest of the field to hop on track. Davis, Cowan, Vanderkrant, Fitzpatrick, Hansen, Weston yet to join the starting grid for tonight's race.
30 seconds left for the start.
So they've only got a little bit of time here to get back on track. Fitzpatrick, Hansen's on there, just waiting on his teammate Scotty Weston now. He's the last to join the grid here tonight for our first race of 2. 20 minutes. Fuel will not be a factor in this one, Sinker.
No, it'll be a thrashing till the end, tyres and everything like that. They need to keep them obviously, in check, but I think it's going to be an awesome sprint. The M1 boys are a bit further back in the field than we usually see them.
That's exactly right. They are kind of not on the upper echelon at the moment, but they're still in the top 5, so still within a shout. Gridding is starting, lights are up. Let's go racing here tonight out at Magny Cours. Race 1 about to get underway. Who's going to get the jump down towards turn 1? It was a good start there from Dooley off the start. Bog start though from Daly in the background. And that's going to allow Weiger through into the top 8 drivers on track. There's contact!
There's a spin.
That's
Looks
Pavlovic.
like it could be Stefan Lawrence.
That was Pavlovic in the background there.
Peter Pav down there. But the boys have taken off. A great start by Davis. He got off the line really well. Billy Mole as well. Troy Dooley is leading from the front, going for it. These cars are looking spectacular. 2x2 and some of the... we've got 3x3 there.
They come in to the electrifying turn 4. There's
Kelly
contact with
got
Crosby. Kennedy got caught up as well.
Kennedy, Kennedy just moved in. I don't know if he took out the car that was coming through or not, but we've got Troy Dooley setting the pace early now. He's already got himself up to a second. Billy Mole second behind that. And Rick Vigor, who is in for a title contention, is holding up the team behind them with a 4-second gap already.
Well, this is what Viger needed. He needed Crosby to have an off night, and all of a sudden his championship hopes continue to rise. Hanson's had an off track in the background. That's now going to allow Crosby back past him. Brett Taylor has gone back to pits.
Oh, the boys have caught them up. Don't forget the big round next week. Next week is the Enduro, so there's bigger points available as well.
Kelly at the moment is in P7, so he's just off the back
look at this.
of this battle into the top 4. Runs it way wide though, but Dooley now starts lap number 2 as we get going. Get intervals up on screen for you. So it's nice and tight up the front, Sinker, between Dooley and Davis. Molin behind, as mentioned. Viger a little bit further back. Daly makes up the 5. Martin, P1 for the amateurs. He's got Schultz about 3 spots back of him, and then Fitzpatrick just outside the 10 for the top 3 of that class.
Palmy Tower, mate. It's all orange and yellow, all the way through. The boys have got a lot of fighting to be done. The only gap is where Viger is sitting in 3rd, but he's got the pressure behind him of Daly, Martin and Cowan straight away.
Let's get up our replay of the start incident. So we're focused on Fitzpatrick at the moment. He had run it wide just a little bit early.
Pav drove himself out wide then.
Yeah, so that was Fitzpatrick that just went out wide there. That's Pavlovic
already
spun
overcommitted
round.
to the corner.
So this was how Pavlovic went off. He was on the inside, kind of a little
Now
bit
he's
further
sitting
up.
in 7th place.
Oh,
JP.
look at that. It's an M1 sandwich.
Yep.
With a Pelican as the protein.
That's going to be a tough one. I'm so glad I don't do RC. I tell you what, I would not have the nerve for it.
And then Brett Taylor jumped back to pit, so I reckon he may have actually had a poor start and possibly actually maybe stalled the car. This was Crosby's incident with Cowie up the inside of him into this corner. Didn't realise he was there and then just turned across him. Have to see what race controls say about that one though. If he had enough
It was
room
lucky
or
that
not.
no one followed through and hit him. Everyone did really well to go around, which is really well done. What's going on here? Is that a
big
slowdown?
slide from Dooley. No, he had a massive slide there on
Look
the
at this,
curb.
3 wide. Oh, that corner doesn't fit 3. Oh, Davis threads the needle. Oh, but look at this. Molly is not giving it up. Billy Mole, I love the name. He is getting the pressure on the back of Dooley. Tell you what, Dooley has lifted this season. He's gone up another level. We've seen so many drivers in this series lift a level from last season. I think that's what's led to some spectacular racing all season long.
Come up into turn 4. The Vigers just
killer.
started a breakaway in the background. Cowie up the inside of Martin to get it back up into P6. A great little move from him there. Oh, Schultze with the contact on Vanderkran. That could impede Schultze a little bit now. That might get him a bit of a talking to from race controls. They make their way through. But Cowie's still battling here with Martin in the background. And,
Doing well, young Cowie. He's got himself in a good position. Biggest mover and shaker at the moment. Is a Team SRW Motorsports driver, Josh King. He's got himself up 8 places, followed by Blake Fitzpatrick up 7 places. The boys are doing really well back there. What have we got? Davis in 2, Troy Dooley and Billy Mole have dropped 1 each. But the fight at the front keeps continuing. Oh, they're getting... See, this is the part of this track which is really tricky. You can get out wide really easy and lose momentum. And then you're going to try to get back online without getting in the way for someone else.
So easy to do. I'm surprised you actually just didn't force them to drive the Mustang, Sinker. Oh, big lunge up the inside by Schultz.
Oh, he's missed his brake marker by miles.
I was about to say, it is almost like he is trying to throw this away. Like it is.
He needs to get back into the top, into the. He needs to get back into the mindset he was last week. It's a sprint race. It doesn't mean you have to get too aggressive. You need to back it off sometimes. That's what I tell Mitch, our new driver. He's got to release the beast a bit, you know. Just bite the bullet back. Just take it a little bit easier.
Now he's got Crosby all over the back of him here, so it's going to be no reprieve. See Pavlovic, he's just got past Vanderkran here. Down the run they come.
Oh, too wide. He's got in front of him.
Little move from him
Good
there.
move by Pav. Pav's been away for a while. I'm not sure where he's been, but it's good to see him back on track.
Back up the front though. This is our battle for the lead. Davis versus Dooley versus Mole. Mole having a couple little blinking issues I noticed across the start of the race, Sinker. So hopefully the internet can hold out for him, or hopefully he doesn't become an issue on track and be forced to pull out of the race early. But Davis doing well so far. P1, obviously new colours on that car here tonight and into the future. He's only going to be able to run this livery though for 2 rounds, Sinker, before he changes to a new one. So
Yeah. I was just looking for my phone to text Warren and Brown to tell them this is the first time ever we've had a Warren and Brown car leading a race.
Oh, so he's a paid driver. I see what it is.
Oh, I wish I could afford to pay drivers. That'd be awesome.
But, the field just starting to spread out a little bit. It's kind of getting into their groove now, Sinker, as well.
Yeah. Top 3 are still nice and close. And this track, a mistake is so easily made. You can do it anywhere, on any corner, even when you're on your own. But have a look at this. Billy Mole is already looking up on the inside of the window there, letting him know he's there, making sure that Dooley is looking left and right, forcing an error if possible.
We can see you're on board now with Mole, who's just trying to chase down the top 2 Mustangs on the track. He's just trying to continue this fight now. He's had a little bit of an up and down season, of course, taking Sean Vandermeulen under his wing at the start of the season, and then now he's just trying to be Mr. Consistent and get on a good run going into the final round next week and then into season 2 in a couple of weeks' time. Starting round 1, April 23rd, will be round 1 for season 2. So the drivers will get a little bit of a reprieve, about a month. About
3 weeks.
3 weeks off, yeah, 3 weeks.
Yeah, 3 weeks off.
It'll be a nice little break for them, and obviously some
We'll do
drivers...
something between the series, something a bit of fun. Ideally, I'd like to get an enduro going the week before the season starts, but we'll be discussing that this week.
First round of the yearly kind of 4-round, kind
Correct.
of special events.
He nearly hit that curb a bit too aggressive there, and he lost it. Did you see his arm move?
Yeah, that was absolutely wild. So keep your eyes and ears peeled, ladies and gentlemen, for an announcement of the first of 4 special events across the year here from SRW. That's ruined his run now through turn 2 as well.
Yep.
So it is just
Big
hurting
time.
him
Look
at
at
the
the pace he
moment.
lost.
Yeah.
Now he's got to remember not to overdrive it. Try to fight back and don't overdrive it. Just work your way in. You've got laps under your belt. You've got 10 minutes left?
About 11 minutes or so. So
about
Brad
11
Evans as
minutes
well,
left.
struggling up here. Just rotated it round at the corner we mentioned as well. Very easy to do there. But Dooley's also had an incident as well, and he's now dropped down behind Billy Mole. This is what's happened to Dooley whilst we were looking at the replay. So he's down into turn 4. I reckon he's just locked the braking compression, locked it around. Oh no, just locked it up and ran it way wide.
He's missed his brake marker altogether, and he's just let him go through. Whoa. While all this is going on, Jamie Davis is just peeling away from them. He's on 2.49 seconds now in that Warren and Brown livery.
We can see here Dooley just trying to make up what he's lost so far.
Kennedy is about to jump Josh King. He's like 1/10 on the back of him, putting a lot of... no,
Kennedy cracks under pressure.
Yeah, the pressure got to him. It looked like he almost beached it then.
Oh, like a scrambled egg in a hot pan.
Yeah.
He just cracked under
It's
it
all right,
there.
Josh. Just keep your head down, mate, and keep focusing. We'll get you a new livery next week.
Maddie in the chat as well. Great to have you, Maddie, as well as Laura Anderson, Alana Davies. Great to have you guys back.
Oh, mate, I've just heard RC.
Yep.
45 seconds stop and hold for
Daniel Schultz.
Yes.
And
For that incident. He's on his way in now.
I can't say I'm surprised, to be honest with you, Sinker. He got in his own head, made some mistakes.
Yeah, that
it was
was
almost 2 in the same lap. Like it's
yeah,
just,
it was. I think it was just a bit over ambitious.
Yeah.
But it sucks because you got to take the pit. You got to make sure you turn everything off.
That's it.
So you don't waste more than 45 seconds.
He has actually gone up on the jack, so he's actually wasting more time now.
Yeah, I don't think he's realised that. I think he's just burnt himself some more time. look, he's got to get back out there and try to get back up in the top 10, because don't forget, we've got a reverse top 10 grid. At the moment, we've got Pete Vanderkrant and Stephen Kennedy will be starting in the first line.
Well, I don't think he's going to have enough time to be able to get back in this one. I mean, 45 seconds stable in the pits.
Healy's towing.
Yeah, Healy's towing. Oh,
Yes.
what has Healy done to need to tow? And does it mean we get a safety car? So he's come. Oh, he's blown an engine.
Has he?
He blew the motor.
Oh, and he's just missed the pit entry too.
So this is how it happened here. On board with him. And that's gone right there.
Oh,
Blown
poor
motor.
bugger. That sucks. He's having a good run too.
Very easy to do here. It is so easy
Yeah,
to do
it
around
is,
this
it
track. You run high revs, couple of long straights, and just, you know, pushing the gearing a little bit too far. Engine just does not like it. And I reckon as well, probably coming down hard on the downshifts too. Probably hurt it a little bit more as well. But a shame for him, but no safety car just yet.
Crosby's called an incident in. I think it was earlier on. They're just checking to see if there is a result on it. What do we got in the chat? We've got Alan Davis. Oh, we've got a few more new people coming.
Alana Davies.
Yeah, Alana Davies.
Josh's partner, I do believe.
Yes,
or
yes,
Jamie's
yes.
partner, sorry, Jamie's partner, possibly. Not 100% sure. Maybe you can get confirmed in the chat. So, but everyone coming out to check out the action here tonight. JP saying, "Come on, Cowie, what you doing?"
Ooh,
so
mate.
Cowie just getting absolutely chirped by his Monday night co-commentator.
Andrew Cowan.
Yeah,
he's got a drive-through penalty for the incident on that corner we saw earlier on.
Yeah.
With Crosby.
I think it comes down to that point of turning. Unfortunately for Cowie, he wasn't quite far enough up at the point of turning, and the corner was Crosby's. But yeah, so.
Yeah, he knows pinged him pretty much with it. Yeah. But look, it is what it is. This is the thing. We're at the pointy end of the season where all these points are so important, and these boys need to stay in check and make sure they're doing all the right things, because consistency these last two rounds are very important for a title fight.
Daly's just let him pass, but he's actually going to get the position back now. Not Jamie's misses. Okay, all right. Well, thank you for letting me know, Laura.
Oh, he's got it through. He's nice and clean. Don't speed into it, mate. Whatever you do, it's the last thing you need.
But I mean,
all right, Jamie is got himself 1.25 seconds, but Dooley and Mole are fighting it out like crazy. He's got a nice little lead there.
He's doing very, very well. Interestingly enough, Crosby P12 at the moment, Viger in P4. So this is a great gain for him in points, and he's going to look to try and get on the podium now as well. Just bring the fight to Dooley, Mole, and Davis up ahead of him here. So they're going to be fighting this out. Brett John Lamarcio in the chat saying hi guys, and then saying great coverage guys. Really appreciate it. Brett, really appreciate you being here with us. If you want to come and check us out,
subscribe.
If you want to come and check us out on YouTube, then be sure to come and hit that subscribe button and the bell icon as well, so you are notified at any time we go racing across our 6 nights a week. So much action coming everybody's way. But in there on Facebook as well. Click the like button on Facebook. Follow us on there as we do stream to both platforms for all of our races here at SRWtv.
Viger's on pace, mate. He's caught up to these guys. He's got it down to 0.4. Has he got a new Saturn livery as well? They changed the tone of that as well.
This, I think it might just be the lighting on the track. He's been running this one since the start of the season, and I know that
look at this side by side.
About it previously, but Mole wants it on, or Dooley wants it on Mole. I do apologise up ahead. So they come into the final little couple of corners here, too wide.
Oh, Vigor's going to take advantage of this as well. Look at this. Vigor's going to take him on the inside and get stuck into the action.
He's smart enough to know not to make that 3 wide. They come through. Mole survives another lap against Dooley. 5 minutes to go, so no safety cars here in race number 1. Viger all over the back of Troy Dooley. Billy Mole in here as well. Jamie Davis licking his lips at the fact that he's almost being gifted here a win in this race. 3.5 seconds is now the gap up to the leader. So this little battle is just starting to let him creep away here in race number 1 out in P1. So he'll be absolutely loving it. I know that you're loving it as well, because it could mean that
don't worry, he's got a lot of work to do, mate. It's not over. He's got to work his way from 10th all the way up.
Oh, Viger, I thought was going to send it up the inside of Dooley there, but smarter not to do that at that point. We already saw an incident happen between Cowan and Crosby with a similar move. Weiger's a smart driver, though. He won't push the limits if he doesn't need to. It's the same with a couple other drivers who we see in the Pro Series, in the Pro-Am and on the Sunday, and even other series in iRacing. If the door is kind of cracked open, he'll Spartan kick it down, but if it's shut, he'll just knock and wait for the opportunity to come.
Oh, we've got Fitz. Fitz is on the back of Van der Kraan with 2/10. Oh, don't go there. That was nearly on the sand, on the grass, and that was all over. Looks like Rick Figger's going to take care of this. He's taking advantage of that little slip up.
It was a great run.
Oh, he's gone shallow. Oh, that was a great bit of defensive driving there by Vigor. He really cut the line shallow then and made sure that Dooley had to go wide for him.
We've had an update on the little Jamie Davis, Josh King and Alana Davies incident here in the chat. Not Jamie's missus or Josh's, just a mate. Josh did my tattoo, also Jamie is dating my sister. So thank you for the update there, Alana, letting us know of our information. We can now draw back to that in future if we really have to, but appreciate the
Josh is a
clarification.
tattoo artist.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know.
I know I'll call him when I need to get a tattoo done if he's based in Vic. We'll give him more screen time. That'll be the payment.
Rick Vigor has done. Weiger has done really well to get back up to that position.
I told you in round one that Rick is a driver to watch, and right now, you know, but he's always
too.
Yeah, but he's always been a bit of a more the bridesmaid, never the bride. You know, he never got to win that Split 2 championship in Vets, but made it into Split 1 anyway. But he always seems to get there in the end, but not quite win it. But right now he's in a great position as he takes Billy Mole. That's P2 for Weiger. So now he's going to be able to gain even more points on Crosby back in P11.
He is on fire.
He's absolutely ripping it out on
That
track
was
at the moment.
so smooth that it didn't look aggressive at all. I hardly even picked it up with my eyes.
It's like butter.
Until you mentioned it.
He was like, all right, I'll have this. Thank you very much. Just slides on.
Julie hasn't given up yet, Hamish. Look at him go. He's got 1/10, 3/10 behind him, 2/10. These boys are still going to fight it out. They're probably got another 2 laps to go here. We've got a minute and a half of natural time
I'd
plus
say
the.
It's going to be 1 minute because 1 lap because Davis is going to cross the line with just under probably about a minute 20 to go.
Yeah.
It's about a minute 40 lap time. So this should be
will
white
this be the
flag
white
lap.
flag?
I would say it is. Is Barney out there?
There is Barney.
He is. It's white flag action. So Davis leads the way. Weiger P2. Dooley all over the back of Mulder at the moment. Daniel Schultz Knight goes from bad to atrocious as he's had an incident in the background here. It's not the night that he would want leading that amateur championship. As he comes
Crosby
in,
wants to be up one more place so he can get
big
into.
slide.
Oh, he's overdriven that. Oh, it's all right, mate. Live to fight another day. Next week's a double pointer. The big round. Crosby needs to get himself up one more place, but he's too far behind Fitzpatrick to get himself onto pole position. But at the moment, we've got Fitzpatrick and Van der Kraan first and second on the front row, with Kennedy and Pavlovich on the second row, Martin Daly third row, Billy Mould, Troy Dooley fourth row, Rick Vigor and Jamie Davis fifth.
I was confused for a second there. I'm like, wait, Van der Kraan's in front? No, but he's in P9. He's starting P2 in the next race. Sorry. But Rick Weiger P2 at the moment. Dooley did actually get Mole at turn 4, so it was a great move up the inside from him there. Got it done. Now he sits on the podium here in race number 1, but it's Jamie Davis leading the way. Rick Weiger has started a breakaway in the background. Mole wants this on Dooley. The fight is not over just yet, Sinker. They wanted to go too wide, couldn't quite get it done. Dooley now reclaims P3 on the road, and that could have been Billy Mole's final chance, final opportunity to get it done. But Davis will come round, needs to just keep it clean here through the final couple of corners. Checkered flag is out here for the session for the first race of tonight. Davis gets the first win for Team SRW, comes across the line, and will come home P1 on the road. Rick Weiger in P2, and Dooley will survive Billy Mole, but that was, that was so close.
Hang on, where is the start?
It's back. The start line's further back.
Yeah. It's a back bit.
So the start line is further up. It's a bit like Bathurst. The start line is further up the track than what the finish line is.
That was so close. That was 0.144 of a second. So we're talking 1.5 tenths over that line. That's crazy. That was great driving from the boys. So for the pros, the Pro-Ams. We've got Jamie Damers from Team SRW Motorsports in first place. Oh, did I say that right? Yep, I did.
Yeah, you did.
Rick Vigor in second place from Angry Birds. Troy Dooley from PSR in third place. For the amateurs, Steve Martin from who's Steve? Pacific Esports.
Pacific Esports Racing. It's actually actually a PER 1-2 with Blake
yes, it is.
in
with,
P2
Blake Fitzpatrick
and Josh King in P3 on re-debut for Team SRW.
Well done, Team SRW. 2 podiums already in the first stretch.
And Brad Anderson in the top 5 for the amateurs, although it was more or less a kind of survival. He survived to be able to get that at that point. Unfortunately, Schultze was kind of took himself out in the race. Scotty Weston, Craig Healy, Weston's a bit further down. Healy not back out on track after blowing the engine, and Brett Taylor never got going, unfortunately, here tonight. So possibly upsetting into the season maybe for Mr. Taylor, but he's done well so far. Maybe he can get into this race and have another run. But we've got warm-up session action to come for you, ladies and gentlemen. 5 minutes for us just to kind of wind down, discuss what we saw in that one. And a point I wanted to make earlier, Stephen, just kind of going back to our talk about Porsche Cup. I reckon NeuroPower Porsche Cup series sounds like a good series name. If anyone from NeuroPower's watching us out there.
I'll have to speak to Tristan and see if he's up for that. He's already a stream sponsor.
The NeuroPower Porsche Cup Nationals. That just it just rolls off the tongue. That is beautiful.
Who's the Porsche Real World sponsor?
Oh, I'd have to do my research on that one. I'll have a gaze.
Let me grab my phone. Just 1 second.
Yeah, I was going to say, we'll have a look. We'll find out.
1 tick.
So Travis Daly out on track at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. We'll just be trying to get that car nice and warmed up at this stage. Let us know what you thought in the chat out there of race number 1 here tonight. Of course, I thought it was an absolute ripper. Magny Cours, one of those tracks that you can kind of either have some great racing, some good battles, or you can kind of have everyone just spread out. So hopefully the 40-minute race doesn't spread everyone out quite as much as what it normally does. Hopefully we can keep them contained, keep them nice, close racing like we had in race number 1. If you've ever done laps around here in this car track combination, let us know in the chat what you think of it, how you'd be approaching this second race as well. Be sure as well, if you haven't already, please hit the like button, hit the subscribe and hit the bell icon as well if you're watching on YouTube, so you can get notified of any races we're doing. We've got 1 round to go after this week. This week is our second last round of the season, round number 8. Then we go into round 9 next week, and then you get a 3-week break. We'll have a little special event in those 3 weeks that'll run kind of a 4-round championship across the year. In between each series we'll run a special event of different types of cars all throughout the season, all throughout the year I should say. And it'll give drivers an opportunity to drive some different things, but also just something else to fight for throughout the year in our break as well. But to get notified, you guys will get notified when we go live on a Tuesday for Warren and Brown Fiat Supercars action here. Wednesday night, Shannon's Insurance Formula 3 Nationals. We've only got 2 races left in the F3 before we move on to the SF24 Nationals next season. The Thursday night Toyota GR86 Nationals brought to you by Shannon's Insurance, which is also a Motorsport Australia official series. And then Friday nights, you'll get notified of the IMSA Shadow Series, which is brought to you by Warren & Brown Tools. So that's a series that runs multi-class racing, GTPs and GTDs, which shadows the iRacing official calendar. So it gives drivers an opportunity to kind of, get prepped for their week of officials. This week is a massive week. Friday night, Sebring is the precursor to the iRacing official Sebring 12-hour special event. So Sebring's going to be very important. Expect a big numbers Friday night for our race, because there'll be a lot of iRacers out there who'll be having a crack Saturday during the day at the iRacing 12-hour. Sunday, then
have you done a big 12-hour, mate?
I've done the Bathurst 12-hour before. I was planning on doing a Sebring 12-hour in previous years, but it never really eventuated. The official special events I've done and I've actually completed is the Daytona 24-hour. Got a top 10 finish in GTD. I've done the Bathurst 12-hour twice and got a top 5 and a top 10. I've done a Bathurst 1000 where I finished inside the top 10, and I've done a portion of a Spa 24-hour, but unfortunately made it 18 hours into the race before our car went kaput. So that one was a very tough race. Then you guys also get notified for Sunday night for the Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars Pro-Am, which is basically the more, not spectacular, but the more important version of this series, where we have pro drivers and Pro-Am drivers battling it out on a Sunday night. And then we ran out our racing week, Monday night, Motorsport Australia Formula V Nationals brought to you, which is also an official Motorsport Australia series. So much racing on offer, Sinker, and it's going to be a massive week ahead and a massive end of season ahead in the week after.
We just don't stop, do we?
No,
we just
don't.
suckers for punishment.
Oh, mate, my back was hurting last week, and I was like, just carrying the iRacing community so hard right now. But no.
How was the, what's that? Cowie, your average sim racer, what you doing on Sun? You owe me a win. Oh, well. He'll do better the second round, second heat. I forgot what I was going to tell you, mate. I was still recovering from the wet weather racing we were doing that weekend. that was like 3 hours. What did we do? We did
3 hours and 40
hours.
minutes. Yep. Yeah, it was massive.
That was crazy, but geez, it was a lot of fun. All the boys were having a blast out there. So it was like. You don't even feel it after a while. You just want to enjoy it and have fun with them.
That's right, mate. But we'll get into our starter grid for our second race of the night, ladies and gentlemen. It is a reverse top 10. So how they finish below 10th place is how they line up here tonight. But our top 10 start is Blake Fitzpatrick, P1, ahead of Peter Vandergren at a P2. Stephen Kennedy will then start P3 alongside Peter Pavlovic in P4. Stephen Martin and Travis Daly will make up our third row of the grid, with Billy Mullen behind and Troy Dooley in behind them. With Rick Weiger in P9, Jamie Davis in P10. Will then be Darren Crosby and Andrew Cowan on the sixth row of the grid, with Josh King and Sean Vandermeulen in behind them, with Marty Hansen and Daniel Clutterbuck P15 and 16, Brad Anderson and Daniel Schultz in P17 and 18, Scotty Weston and Craig Healy in P19 and P20, and then rounding out the rest of our grid is Brett Taylor in P21. I think what you're going to tell me, Sinker, is what the real-world sponsor is of Porsche Cup in Australia.
Yeah, I was trying to, mate, but I can't find my phone. I think my kids put it somewhere.
Oh, I could have looked it up by now.
Yeah, I could have looked it up, but I was actually busy grabbing my phone because I wanted to give Warren and Brown a call and tell them we got our first podium. I thought they'd be pretty happy to see their colours flying at the front for a change, instead of at the back, me wearing it, at the very back, me wearing it.
I think it's sponsored by Painter Dixon, which was their sponsor last year.
Oh, yes, Painter Dixon.
Yeah.
Legal firm.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was the sponsor last year.
Yeah. How good do these cars sound?
Mate, they are exceptional.
People, just put your volume up a little bit. I'll keep my voice down and just listen to these V8s just purring. If the boys can give us a bit of a rev as well, whoever's watching, so that the viewers can hear these cars.
You know Cowie's watching, so maybe he can rev it back in P12. Oh, but going to be such a big week to come ahead. Alana Davies saying, I'm pretty new to racing, so this might be a silly question, but why do they do a reverse grid? So we do a reverse grid in the feature race, Alana, just to kind of shake things up a little bit. But also in some actual real-world racing series, they do it. So whenever you would go to kind of a club racing event, say you're racing in HQs, like Holden HQs, maybe at Winton, for example, they might do what is called a daily championship, where the day of racing, they might do 3 races across the day. And at the end of it, someone will get a trophy for doing the best across all 3 races. To shake things up a bit so they don't have to do a qualifying in between both races, is the first race they'd have a qualifying for, second race they might do a reverse top 10, and third race they might do a reverse grid, so the whole grid gets reversed around, just to shake it up, but also give an opportunity to other drivers to not only get a win, but force the faster drivers to actually try and make their way through the field and battle it out to try and get a second win in the race, or to get, further up the grid again. So it's just about shaking it up.
Amazing action.
Yeah, exactly.
Amazing action.
Yeah.
3 seconds, 3 minutes gone. The clock is ticking. Lights are on.
Let's see who's going to get the jump this time. Hopefully a bit of a nicer start for Peter Pavlovic here. He got caught up in the wars in lap 1 of race 1, but they come down towards turn 1 for the first time, and they all start to spread out. And they keep it clean. Oh, I'm wincing already as they make their way
so
around.
close.
Oh, there is
we've
someone
got
already
everyone
gone.
going.
It's Crosby. Championship leader taken out turn 1. And he's going to drop down to the back of the field. And all of a sudden, the championship standings open up a little bit, Sinker, with Rick Viger P9 on the road at the moment.
That was also called in by Healy, so there might have been some contact there too, so I'm not sure what the story was, but I'm sure we'll find out after this lap goes through. Whoa, yes, Manny, I heard Cowie rev it as well all the way back in 12 somewhere, but these boys are still coming from that back bit, 2 wide, 3 wide, trying to make themselves a position. Oh, look at this, they're both coming into that last corner. How good did that sound?
Oh, phenomenal. Love it when a track has a static cam that I can just keep it on. It's fantastic.
I just realised I was quiet and I was like, oh yeah, I'm listening to the V8s.
I was quiet too. I was like, oh, actually, I quite like this. I'll just leave it for a second.
Yeah.
But they make their way up. This is such a tough corner, isn't it?
Oh,
We saw
look
it
at the way
catch
Kennedy
out so
took
many
that.
drivers. Oh, just so quick. And what Kennedy will be trying to do now is not only play his championship game, but also play the team game. Because if Viger gets up onto the back of him at any point, as we can see Martin and Dooley just fighting it out here in the background. If he gets Viger up on the back of him at any point, he's going to want to try and hold him off so Viger doesn't gain too much on Crosby. But the other factor is Peter Vanderkrant, Rick Viger's teammate, who will also be playing the team game to try and hold up Kennedy so Viger can catch him. So we could start to see here a little bit of a dance start to happen. Fitzpatrick gives us the flash of the lights. Start lap number 2, and he leads this race still off the start. P1 for the amateurs, P1 on the road here tonight.
Doing really well. I'm loving that chicane. The last chicane, the aggression the boys are coming through on that is sensational. Watching those cars bounce up on 2 wheels is very reminiscent of Queensland, the chicane, and they come to the last straight where they're all flying over the top of it.
That was Josh King there. I reckon his livery might need a bucket and spade on it, Sinker, after that little moment going off track. So now him and his teammate Brad Anderson will have to work together to try and make their way up the field. Brett Taylor back out on track, which is really, really good to see. So he'll be trying to have a nice run here tonight. Stephen Martin is dropping spots. He's had a bit of a slow run out of turn 4, and he's just letting a heap of drivers pass him now, including Andrew Cowan, Troy Dooley, Peter Pavlovic, Jamie Davis. So he's just dropping back down the order at this stage. But Rick Viger, importantly, P6 on the road at the moment. So this is a great run from him. 11 spots up from Darren Crosby on the road. That's our championship battle at this stage, and that is who we are trying to just, keep an eye on, sort of thing. Let's see if this will actually work for me here. It does indeed, so we can actually compare them. So Viger versus Crosby, that's what their sectors are looking like at this stage. So we'll keep an eye on them both throughout this race and just see how they're both tracking. But Fitzpatrick leads the way, and we'll just be hoping to break away from Peter Vanderkrant and Stephen Kennedy in behind.
Yeah, everyone's settled down into their little battles. Crosby is on the back of Healy, actually just past Healy, as he's come through that corner. So he's working his way back up. He's just got to do the best of the situation and try to get himself up in the top 10 where the bigger points are, and then just make sure he has an epic battle in the last race of the season. So it's interesting in one way, sad another way. Interesting in one way because it's going to make the last round super epic because it's going to be so close to positions for the top 5. And then sad in another way, Crosby's been so consistent and he's had a little bit of bad luck this season here and there.
This may work out to be Crosby's drop round as well. So that's also going to be a factor going into the final round. So we'll have to wait and see that if we can get some points updates early enough. But Viger and Davis, these guys are still going at it.
Yeah, side by side. Look at this go. Let's keep it clean, boys. 2 Mustangs into this. Oh, look at that.
Pavlovic as well up the inside.
And Pavlovic is making an effort there as well, trying to get a stiff. Oh, Pavlovic holds it. Oh, he's just... Davis has pushed the inline and he's got Viger on the outside, but Viger's not giving it up just yet.
No,
They're 2 by 2.
I think Davis may have actually let him have it back because he balked him a little bit. He didn't want to have to really impede him in
Look
any
at the
way.
flashing lights of Peter Pav there. Viger's getting very aggressive on those curbs there, mate. I hope that doesn't burn his tyres out. He's got to remember this is not a sprint one. This one is a 40-minute one.
I think 40 minutes he should be fine on tyres anyway. These tyres are made to last a full tank, so he should be fine on tyres.
I thought you were just about to say these tyres are made for loving you and start singing a song.
No, I'm not going to cop us a copyright strike in a poor way. If we're going to cop a copyright strike, we're playing the actual thing. But
look how close these three are over the line. The battle is ridiculous. They are less than 2 tenths between them at that point when they came through the chicanes. That was unbelievably fast.
This is Brett Taylor. He had an incident down at turn 4. I reckon he's locked it up here and just kind of pulled it. Oh, has he actually spun around maybe? Oh, no. Oh, they've all balked up.
No.
That's
no,
what
they all backed up for some
Yeah.
reason there. Oh, two teammates backed up on each other and he nearly hit them.
Then Healy and Vandermeer, these guys have also now gone off as well into the sandpit.
Oh,
Vandermeer's
no,
got
who's
heavy
that?
damage. The ZB crewman makes its first appearance of the night. I am celebrating right now, but not for Vandermeer and having an incident. Oh, and that's what it will be.
Yeah.
Oh, that is...
Oh, no. Don't know what happened there. Looks like he just became a passenger. That car did not look good at all.
And there he is. And since
Right,
it is...
Shane Healy's just called that in.
Yeah, Craig Healy calls it in. Since it is our first appearance of the ZB crewman, we can see out the back of the tub. So I thought it just take.
Yeah, this thing is not looking healthy at all.
It's not. So he'll definitely have to bring that in.
Not
Davis and
better coming
Viger
on, looks
though.
healthy. Oh, look at Jamie go there. That was a bit of wiggly. He got in front of Vigor. We must have missed that.
Yeah,
but
he just did it there
actual
through the chicane.
car,
Cowie's in on
Billy
this
Mole.
though.
Van der Mel just called one in as well. Billy Mole, 2 tenths on Daly. Then we've got Pavlovich, 2 tenths on Vigor. The fighting is up and down the field, people. We just don't know where to go at the moment because there's just so much action. If there's someone you guys want to see, let us know so we can put them on there. Going to serenade us. No, we won't get Hamish to serenade anyone just yet.
No, it's unless we get SRW karaoke night happening, it's not going to happen.
It's been done. I'll tell you a bit of a quick story. Today I drove all the way out to Eildon. I was up in Euroa in the morning, and I went past a little town called Alexandria, and I realised while I was driving through that I had my Bucks night in Eildon, and we had the drinks night at the Alexandra Shamrock, and I spent the whole night on stage singing with the band. Whole Chisel songs.
Oh, I hope the venue offered the patrons a refund on their drinks.
No, the Republican came up and when he was paying the guys, said, "Come here." He goes, "I think you deserve more than this, and these guys do."
Laura Anderson saying shout out to old man Brad Anderson on the eve of his eldest son's 20th birthday. Happy birthday to Brad's eldest son. JP saying also Steve fighting of the cats after.
Mate, more like you're pretty old too, mate. More like Cat Stevens.
Oh, but Pavlik
Anyway,
all over the back of
racing
Viger at the moment. He can pressure being applied.
He's hot on the heels, mate. Hot on the heels. Josh King is he's on the back of Brett Taylor. He's finding some form in the new SRW team, and 3 tenths is pretty good, mate. He's getting some confidence. It's good to see.
Jason just wants us to recognise that he was telling us the name of the Porsche Cup Series, but we already mentioned it, Jace, that it's Porsche Painter Dixon Carrera Cup Australia. But I think NeuroPower Porsche Cup Nationals sounds pretty good to me. But you guys let us know of that one. But this is the lap time history of Viger versus Crosby. So our championship battle. Crosby was faster than Viger on lap 4 of this race, but Viger has been consistently quicker over the last couple of laps. So the traffic is really just starting to hold up Crosby now.
It's not that bad for Crosby at the moment because Viger's not into the top 5. If he stays where he is roughly, it's going to be a point discrepancy, but not as bad collateral damage as it would be if he was up in the top 3. So Crosby needs to get a few places up before this race is through.
To replay what happened to Crosby. He's been off track previously as well, but this was Josh King having an incident. Oh, and just under brakes, just a little bit too overzealous.
Yeah, I think he was worried about hitting the car in front of him more than anything else. Yeah, that's all right. It's all part of the learning curve. Josh will get there.
And this is what happened to Darren Crosby off the start. So just ran it a little bit too wide, bit too much juice, and ran it into the pit exit there, so he dropped down to the back of the order. So it's a real comeback affair now for Darren Crosby in this race. But Rick Viger, P7 on the road at the moment. Blake Fitzpatrick, though, doing an exceptional job up in P1. He's got Vanderkrant in behind him at the moment, but it's a 1.6 second gap. So Fitzpatrick is just starting to, you know, put the jets on, try and break away from Vanderkrant in behind. But Kennedy putting all sorts of pressure over on the Angry Birds car in P2.
Well, here we go. Is that Crosby making the...
That's Kennedy up the inside of Vanderkrant for P2 of this race.
Oh,
so,
nice to see.
See here if Vanderkrant's going to put some pressure on him now into turn 4.
Ooh. Car 451 has got a drive-through penalty for incident earlier on. I think that was the one with
Vandermeulen,
Healy.
and that was on with Healy and Vandermeulen.
Yeah.
So Vandermeulen's been put at fault for that one.
Yep.
I think for closing the door on Healy through that corner quite possibly. But, Fitzpatrick, though, got a great lead over Kennedy and Vanderkrant at this stage. But Mole has now gotten past Travis Daly as well.
Love it. Oh, look at the way Jamie took that corner then, man. Far out. I would have lost that for sure.
Maybe
tell you
Jamie's
what.
going to try and help build the team up a little bit, you know, really help them.
Well, that is the plan, mate. He's already helping Josh and Brad. That's why we took them on as a team, because they're working very closely together, and Jamie is helping them get to grips with the cars. So I said, well, you know what? All three of you can come over, have some fun, and yeah, enjoy it.
Now Mole
Clutterbuck on dueling.
Ooh, in the background.
Look at these 2x2. Clutterbuck has been quiet tonight. Him and Markle and Quashi. Is Quashi's even here tonight?
No, that's why he's been quiet. Oh, but there's contact between them. Oh, and you know what?
He's let him readdress it. He's let him readdress it.
You could see it coming, though. Just having that line up the inside. He
just had so much more pace than him.
And he wasn't fully committed. And again, that's kind of the nuance that we try and say to drivers on the broadcast if they're watching. If you're not 100% committed to the move, don't go for it, because 9 times out of 10 it causes an incident, and it's just going to lead to you having
side by
tears.
side. And that's Kennedy behind them on the back of him as well.
Them.
Sorry, Crosby on the behind him. Yep.
All right, so just quickly sync up. So you know, since they run the same limit, the difference between Crosby's car and Kennedy's car, not only the fact that Kennedy's in P2 and Crosby's in P14, but Kennedy has yellow wheels, Crosby has black wheels. So that's the difference.
Yeah, I was just getting a bit excited, my friend.
It's all right. We all get a bit excited sometimes, but just sort of
working their way through. This battle pack here is phenomenal. Hansen on Clutterbucks is 2/10. Schultz is 2/10. Crosby 2/10. Martin 3/10, standing the 4 now. That is a crazy little battle pack there. Ooh, Mole is getting a lot of pressure from Daly. You know, he's gone back to 2 seconds. So they're having their own little fight again up there. Pavlovich and Cowan too. So the boys, there's a little bit of a love.
Oh, that forced a little wiggle there. Davis, though, that you could see him light it up in the background. He just put boot to firewall then. He tried to get on the power as soon as possible.
Yeah, he saw the contact.
He tried to take advantage.
Yeah.
And now it's dragging Viger into the battle as well.
Another killer fight up there as well. And the boys at the front, you know, Fritz is doing really well. He's keeping Kennedy at 1.6. Vanderkrant is at 0.6 behind him. And then this battle pack of Daly, Mole, Davis, Viger is an epic little battle going on. Any little mistake is going to get him all falling apart.
This is the battle for P4 off the road. They're 6 seconds off the back of P3 at the moment, but the all important thing is Rick Viger just wants to try and get up at the front of this field. Oh, Davis, though, massive lunge. Round the outside now into turn 4. Not going to have the run this time by, though. Oh, and again, he's trying to...
He's still there.
Those runs just unable to be maximised. He jumps Mole, and now he's on Daly, but Daly's going to remain P4. But it was a massive lunge there from the Team SRW driver of Jamie Davis. Up the inside again.
For it. Too wide. He's got the inside line. He's pushed it all the way through. Looks like he's overlapped. These guys have some sensational skills there.
Oh, they do. Mole's still having some blinking issues, so don't be surprised if you hear Viger call that in. He does not want to be hindered in any way coming into, you know, obviously the penultimate round and the penultimate race before the final race of the season. Big lunge from Daly, but that's going to hurt him.
For Mole.
Here comes
taking advantage of that little block up.
Oh, I mean, and why wouldn't you? Door was open, and he just wanted to become a bit of a door in the scenario. But they're going to go too wide into the second to last corner now. Mole up the inside. Daly going to try and run it around the outside on him here. Great race in between them. They're going to go too wide into the chicane. And that's going to be a slow down
for that.
So that's Viger now up in the P. And again, and that comes down, Sinker, to just the smart driving. He would have been better off. Just let Mole have it, slot it in behind, because you're never going to make too wide through the chicane. Oh, Cowie's running wide, though.
Oh, Cowie, what are you doing?
Oh, I reckon he's just trying to piss off JP. That's all it is. He wants to piss him off. He's here to support him.
Viger is just past Billy Mole.
He's
got him on the inside. He's taken him there. That was, you know what, that was... Daly just needed to... Was that Daly that we saw come through? Who was it?
So it was Daly who made the mistake. Davis came through.
That's right, yeah.
But it was Daly who copped the slowdown. Brad Anderson's had an incident in the background.
Behind him.
Now that's kind of the back end of it. This is how it all kind of occurred.
Yeah, he just needed to tuck in behind him, because that is such a sharp chicane there. It's really, it's like a 45-degree left and right.
So I'm unsure why, but Darren Crosby's actually dropped some spots. I think maybe just through battling. There's nothing that's actually come up that's saying any different to me as to why he would have, like no off tracks or incidents.
I think it's battling because he's on.
Oh,
look at that again! He's held it. Oh my god!
I do not know how. I don't know how he's just done that.
Did you see? Pavlich did the same thing. Pavlich held him as well. They're like doing a tandem drift. Cowie's got a sniff at these two guys' rear end is getting really hot.
I know, right?
And he just needs to keep it clean and keep it sharp. And these boys in front of him battling, Pavlich and Daly, are struggling on tyres.
Mention the chat saying, wish I brought my PC and rig with me and set it up in the hotel so I could be out there with the lads. It looks fun. Well, it does indeed. You know, I mean, maybe one day when SRW get their own warehouse, they can have rental rigs set up so if anyone's travelling into the Melbourne area but wants to keep it racing, they can come and use the rig there.
Are you ready? Are you predicting the future or the near future, mate?
Maybe. I'm waiting for the day that SRW has their own sort of I can't remember what they're called, but quite a few like local council. No, like quite a few councils, like local councils have like entertainment buses that they'll have to take to events with them, to like local events that have got like, you know, gaming and stuff set up with them to keep all the kids happy. But
are you giving some of my secrets away?
Oh, maybe I know that SRW is trying to buy a bus and have rigs set up for events. But who knows? But maybe that's the ticket. Maybe
we might end up like the Partridge Family. You reckon?
No, I reckon maybe Dean and Stephen are just going to start becoming road dwellers, and they travel around Australia with SRW rigs, doing the broadcasts out of the bus and racing out of the bus as well. I reckon that'll be the way.
The grey nomads of SRW.
That's it. I don't know how the wives would feel about it, but I'm sure you blokes would have a good time.
Peter Vanderkraan has just taken top spot from Fitzpatrick.
Fitzpatrick's now coming, as well as Kennedy and Davis.
Everyone's coming in. I was about to say that we're going to be triggering a safety car, not a safety car, a pit soon, but it's a little bit early. It's on the 18th, 19th minute mark.
Yeah, but I think the fact that they'll probably be able to save a little bit of fuel at this point as well, and they'll likely be able to save over the next couple of laps too. But I think the ball is definitely in Vanderkraan and Viger's court at the moment. Same with Mole, Pavlich and Daly. Daly's actually just dropped another spot to Pavlich there. I think he may have actually got
some of the balls are exiting now.
So Davis still comes out.
Davis.
But Fitzpatrick is still provisional P1 on the road. Kennedy is still provisional P2, so have to see where they line up. Cowan's also now coming out of pits too. Crosby's been in, as well as Schultz, King, and Hansen. Martin has stayed out on track.
Jamie Davis on provisionals. Jamie Davis is sitting in third now because he's the third one to pit, whereas from Brett Tyler upwards.
Vanderkraan would still be provisional P3 because he was P3 prior to the pit stops. So
Yeah, but he hasn't pitted yet either.
No, he hasn't. So
No.
when he comes in, he may still be P3 or P4. So we'll have to wait and see. It depends how much Davis has actually caught up to him. But Davis is 5 seconds off the back of Kennedy. Kennedy was only just ahead of Van der Kraan before the pit stop. So
the pit stop's taking 17 seconds plus travel. And Van der Kraan's got a gap on the first pitter of 26 seconds.
Well,
so
Van der Kraan's
10
gone for
seconds
another
travel.
lap, but really balked the exit there through the chicane. Viger, though, is actually going to come in. Mole's going to stay out for the lap. Daly's come in, and Pavlovic's also stayed out. So the interesting thing now is when Mr. Viger will come out and where he will come out. Around who, if it's out
Viger,
around
Daly, and
Davis.
Clutterbuck.
So
See how they're going to come out.
here's Davis coming
These
into the
boys are
final
coming
couple
through.
of corners. Viger still in the bay at this stage in time.
Where's Viger?
Viger's
Viger's still there.
He's still there. So Davis is still going to jump
Here
in and
they
actually
come.
gain quite a bit of time on him.
Oh, he's overcut him. Undercut him, I should say.
He was ahead of him, but he gained a heap of time on him.
Yep.
So that was the thing. He gained a heap of time through the pit stop. So now the question is, will he gain time on Peter Van der Kraan up in P1 on the road? And when does Van der Kraan come in? That is now.
Well, he you know what Jamie's like with his pace. He's not going to be a slouch, so he needs Fitzpatrick and Kennedy and Davis are all out there. What do we got? Fitzpatrick is got Kennedy just under a second. Jamie is 4.7 seconds behind at this point. Vigor 6.3. So there's a bit of a gap that's fallen behind there. Oh, who's that?
It's Brett Taylor. Just letting him go past. He knows that he's out of that battle. So he's just letting him go, and he'll come around for his pit stop shortly as well. But Van der Kraan, does he come in on this lap, or does he go a little bit longer on the tank? He's going to go a little bit longer. Yeah, I reckon he's been saving some fuel, and he wants to have the shortest stop here in the stop for this
Well,
race.
we've seen Darren Lobb what he does when he comes in for the shorter stop. He took 10 seconds off his stop just by going those few extra laps. So we've got Billy Mole that's entered the pit. There's only a few guys left, so we've got Brett Taylor, Troy Dooley, Peter Pav, and Peter Van der Kraan that still haven't pitted. The rest have all pitted, and Anderson in the back as well. So let's see how Davis goes. He needs to undercut someone else here. Where are the boys in the pits?
That's the fast lap
Too
of the
wide,
race.
I can't see them.
140.1. So fast lap of the race there from Davis. Billy Mole not quite close enough to cutting out Rick Viger or Travis Daly. In fact, he's actually going to lose a position here to Cowie as well, possibly, who wants to get it up
he's got to be
inside.
careful. Got to be careful, Cowie. Watch it. Oh, you've got to give right away. He just pulled in. He's got to give right away to the driver exiting.
So now Van der Kraan, he still keeps going. Whether he's going to come in this lap or not, we will be, well, those are only words. We will see.
Van der Kraan's last lap was a 1:42.1.
It was. So he's
Jamie
he's definitely
Davis
fuel
just set
saving.
the fastest lap of a 1:40.188.
Yeah. So there's quite a bit of time to be lost here. Maybe he shouldn't try and push it too hard at this stage. Pavlovic is about 8 seconds off the back of him. We still predict, though, that he should be in the top 10, but I reckon Van der Kraan is not going to gain too much on anyone from this. Anderson's now in for his stop, but here comes Van der Kraan. And I'd say that Pavlovic's going to be in the same boat as well as Dooley, who's 3 seconds off the back. No, Pavlovic's going to stay out. Very interesting.
What's Dooley doing? It'll be interesting to see where Pavlik comes out to compared to Van der Kraan.
And to Dooley as
Could
well.
be a swap. Could be an undercut there. Troy Dooley's gone in as well. Yep.
No, I don't think it'd be between Pavlovic and Van der Kraan. Pavlovic was too far off the back. He was battling around about where Cowie and Crosby were prior to the stop. Fitzpatrick, though, remains provisional P1. Jamie Davis, is he going to get past Peter Van der Kraan? He is. So that is P3 for Jamie Davis. So going those 2 laps longer than when Viger came in has hurt Peter Van der Kraan. So realistically, he should have come in with Viger, and he probably wouldn't have actually lost as much time on Davis. Or at least he would have had a fighting chance with Davis at that stage. But Davis now goes into P3. I would expect Van der Kraan possibly to let Viger through at some stage, thinking about championship implications, being with their teammates. Could possibly happen. But Kennedy and Fitzpatrick, They are fighting, and this is for the provisional lead of the race. So lap 15, 25 minutes out of 40. We've got about 15 minutes left of running, ladies and gentlemen, before the final drop round of the season can be applied, and before we get into final round territory next time out on track. Fitzpatrick looking for a breakout moment here tonight. Kennedy wants to be the bearer of bad news and try and take the win off the amateur. Pavlovic leads the race, but he needs to pit, so he will not be leading after this pit stop, but it's a massive lockup from Kennedy up into the uphill chicane. That's going to lose him time, and that could bring Davis into proceedings if Kennedy does not start to cool his head.
How long is slowdown going to be?
That's the question. Pavlovic is now into the lane for his stop, but I would suspect he would come out around about P10 on the road, possibly even P11. Weiger is now 5 spots up the road from Crosby, so still gaining some points, but it's not really going to be... Oh, that was a massive curve strike there from Fitzpatrick.
Whoa.
Oh, that was a bit of
Crazy
high
over
jump
the top.
from him.
That off for Kennedy, that cost him about a second and a half for Jamie Davis then.
Lost him a heap of time. Anderson's back in the lane as well. That's now a second stop of this race for him. Whether it's race over yet to be confirmed.
Everyone else has tapped out their times a bit. Billy Mole on Daly is like 2:10, so he's just about to make a crack at him. And then you've got Martin and Schultz as well having a fight. But Billy Mole, these guys have been fighting all night together, swapping positions. Let's see how he goes. Mole's taking him on the inside, gives him space on the outside, takes the line. Yep, he's maintaining momentum, but will Mole give it up? No. Still overlap these boys another corner together. Some great driving. These boys, such respect for each other. It's amazing.
Phenomenal driving between them. Big shout out as well, ladies and gentlemen, goes to our series sponsors, Shunt Scenery, DSL Rail Services, NeuroPower, Grim Industries, and our series sponsors there, the naming rights sponsors, Warren & Brown Tools, Shannon's Insurance, and Motorsport Australia. Thank you for supporting the series, and thank you for supporting the league as well. Just current running order of things after the pit stop period has now ended. It's Fitzpatrick to Kennedy to Davis. That's the current podium. Vanderkrant and Weiger make up the top 5. Mole, Daly, Cowan, Pavlovic, and Dooley make up the 10. Crosby, Clutterbuck, they're just missing out on the 10 at the moment. Schultz is P2 for the amateurs, ahead of Stephen Martin in P3. Those boys are 13 and 14th on the road. Then it's Weston, Taylor, Hanson, King, Healy, Vandermeulen and Anderson making up the back of the grid at this stage in time. So Taylor will be trying to make up some spots here, try and get up onto Weston, get past him, and then start to put some pressure on Stephen Martin just up the road if he wants to continue this run of podiums in a row. He's had 3 so far over the last 3 weeks. So he'll be hoping to make it 4 here tonight, but he's only got about 12 minutes to get up on the back of Martin and put that pressure on him if he wants to get this done.
Yeah, these boys are fighting some amazing driving here. Showed some real class tonight, every single one of them. They've had their little dings and bangs, but everyone's come out racing. There's been no bitching and moaning. Everyone just keeps going. You've got a feel for some of the guys that have sort of, it's cost them some epic points. But as you said, there's some drop rounds to go. So the fighting doesn't stop. You know, things like Martin and Schultz, is still going for it. There's, 4/10. Oh, who was that?
That was Troy Dooley.
Dooley.
So he nearly ran up the back of Pavlovic, but had the wherewithal just to kind of steer the car into the grass and avoid him there off the back of that. So it could have ended very poorly, but a bit of awareness there saved both his and Peter's race in the end.
So we've got 10 minutes to go, and we've got top place, Blake Fitzpatrick. He's got 1.5 seconds on Stephen Kennedy. Stephen Kennedy has got 2.6 on Davis, but Peter Vanderkrant is a second on the back of Davis now. He's got himself in a position where he's going to be fighting for that podium position very soon. Then it tapers out a bit. The next big battle is with Billy Mole and Travis Daly, and you come down to second and third for the AMS, Schultz and Martin, with a 0.6 between the gap of them.
So this right now is going to be a massive points gain for Blake Fitzpatrick over those top 2 in the championship, Schultz and Martin. This is now actually going to put Fitzpatrick in the lead of the championship leading into the final round, Sinker. So Fitzpatrick now has the best seat in the house or the best possibility of winning this championship, he's going to gain mega points over them if he can win this race. It is going to be phenomenal how much points he's actually going to gain on them now in this second run here tonight. Schultze, maybe he's thrown it away after that first race and a couple of mistakes made. And Martin, he just hasn't really been close enough all night to really put that challenge in. But could still put a challenge in for P2 in this, in their standings. But P1 to P13, that's a real big chunk of points to lose out.
That's a big gap. You know what?
To a competitor.
Enduro next week. And anything can happen in Enduros. Anything. So there's a lot of points to be won next weekend, and it could be completely turned around.
That's true, but it would be pretty hard pressed to have it go the other way and have either Martin or Schultz kind of end up like this in an Enduro. Like, you'd be hard pressed to have an amateur winning the Enduro event and having them, having your competitor outside the top 10. But anything can happen at this stage, as you mentioned, Sinker. 9 minutes to go in tonight's race. Lap 19 as we stand. We're a couple of minutes away from no safety cars here tonight. I think next week out at Sebring, we're almost guaranteed some safety cars. We already saw the carnage that occurred at the GR86s a couple of weeks ago. We know there'll be some carnage this Friday night, and IMSA are out at that track too. So there will be opportunities for drivers to make mistakes and just lose out on their competitors a little bit. But Viger, importantly, he's gaining some points over Crosby. Kennedy's also gaining some points over Crosby too. So it's still going to be on for young and old between those three in that championship battle. Cowie's there, but he's not really doing anything spectacular to put his name in the ring at this stage.
Martin and Weston have just changed places. I'm not sure what's happened.
And look who's there. It's Brett Taylor. Oh, the people's champion, we'll call him right now. He is right on the verge of yet another podium if he can stay with them. What is it about Brett Taylor? And if he gets on the podium, we're going to ask him this. What is it about him about just adding some spice into a race?
That was
a big wiggle there.
What happened there?
Oh, look at this. Like, Taylor's on the inside of Martin, gives him a little bit of a knock. And onto the podium goes Taylor. There was a little bit of a argy-bargy there. We'll have to see if Martin calls that in. He is calling it in.
Martin is calling something in. I can't hear what he's saying. Then nothing was actually heard unless RC could hear it. But that wiggle across there. Here we go. Car 16 just called that in. So we'll see what happens.
This was how it happened.
Okay, so he's just talking about moving under brakes.
Oh, I don't really know you'd call that moving under brakes.
I'm not sure.
He gave him a bit of a balk, but that wasn't really moving under brakes. Like, he's in the corner.
Yeah.
Like, I get if you're going to say he's balked me mid-corner, but that's not moving under brakes. Like,
yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. That big wiggle, that was very unusual. But again, some great battling across there, and it's lucky there was no major carnage across that. I thought someone would have had something massive happen there.
Yeah, very lucky. But Stephen Kennedy now moves up into P1 of this race. He gets past Blake Fitzpatrick. We caught just the back end of it of how it happened.
Yeah, Jamie Davis has caught them as well. He was 2.5 seconds before. Now he's down to 1.3.
This is how it happened. It was just a straight drag race, and Fitzpatrick in the end probably just backed out of it and let him have it. He knows he wants to consolidate the solid amount of points he's going to be getting for this race here tonight.
100%. 100%. It's he's not battling these guys for points, so it's vital that he finishes as high as he can.
So we'll have to wait and see what's going to occur in the dying embers of this race. 6 minutes to go, Sinker. We'll have to argue probably 3 more laps, maybe 2 in the end of this one. Oh, but Kennedy runs it a bit wide. Oh, it's very close. The curve strike from Fitzpatrick.
Did someone give Fitzpatrick a call and tell him that that's a chicane?
Is he going to start doing pole vault for Performance Esports? Like,
I thought it was an equestrian event.
He's flapping the wings like a pelican right now across that.
Man.
He's just trying to get launched. That's what it is, I reckon. But
I'm surprised he didn't get a slowdown then.
one thing he's going to have to be careful of is hurting the underfloor of that car.
Pavlovich and Cowan heating up as well. Cowan has got Pavlovich all the way on the back of it. Oh, no. We've had a spin on the main straight.
It's Daniel Clutterbuck. Needs to be careful. The battle's coming through for P3 in the amateur class. In fact, that's actually...
Hang on. Car 175 needs to readdress behind car 16 for that move that he made.
He just let him pass then. So race is not over for Brett Taylor, but now he's going to have to fight for P3 once again. This is what happened to Clutters on the main straight. So he's come round through the chicane. I reckon he's caught the curbing on the outside off the exit of the chicane. And that's what's done it. Oh, no, that's what a big wiggle off the curb, and that put it into the wall.
Oh, he's actually come off not too bad, considering the wall he's hit.
Yeah, that's true. JP saying, right, guys, I need to go. Tell Cowie he's sacked for me.
Someone else just spun it then too.
That was Marty Hansen.
Oh, no, Marty's having poor Marty's having a sucker of a night tonight. What's he done? Is he mounted the curb? He just lit it up coming out. Oh, that sucks. He's had a bit of a that sucks for him.
This battle is still being contested. We'll see you next time, JP. Great to have you in the chat, mate.
056.
Yep.
Has to readdress. Where's 056? I don't see a 056. Did I hear that wrong?
Maybe it was 052 for Scotty Weston. I think it was. Yeah, it was Scotty Weston. So. He's had to readdress, but that now puts a buffer between Martin and Taylor.
Yeah.
You know, as a viewer, I don't agree necessarily with that decision, because obviously I want to be able to see Taylor and Martin fight it out. But in race fairness, that is the fair choice, to be fair. So
yeah,
race
definitely.
Race control making the right decision there in terms of a racing decision.
Jump up to Cow and Pavlovich and Dooley, mate. They're fighting like crazy here. They are on fire.
Well, actually,
but so are these guys in front as well.
Because I noticed
look at this. Oh, he's got him on the inside of the brakes.
Oh,
he's held it.
Move.
Oh, I'll tell you what, if I get back to the V8, I've got a coach now. He is doing some exceptional driving these last few weeks, and that was absolutely fantastic. Under brakes, he put the chips on the table, and he made the bet, and he made it stick.
This battle's just starting to heat up too. We've been asked to check out Billy and Trav. Well, this battle is still starting to heat up here towards the dying embers. Fitzpatrick's now gotten past Davis up the road as well. Kennedy's just starting to get a bit of a breakaway from the top two. Viger, though, he's just ahead of this little battle. So all three of these guys have been together all day in this race. And now these guys are just starting to trickle their way through the final couple of corners. And they will start yet another lap in this race, I would say.
Oh, tell you what. Both of them. Oh, did he get a slow down now?
I think it might have been maybe a big curb strike. Oh, but Cowie's gone to the background.
Oh, no, Cowie. Oh, man.
He did what Clutters did. He caught the curb. That then unsettled the car. That now promotes Darren Crosby into the top 10. So a couple more points gained for Mr. Crosby off the back.
I think Cowie might have some damage then. That car looked like it was crab walking.
Oh, that was not good to see. How is Cowie's car looking? Oh, we'll go on board. We'll see if he's got any wheel movement.
Davis is in second.
He is. They're battling it out at the moment with Fitzpatrick and Davis. These guys are side by side.
Look at them go. Oh, look at that. Some sensational driving here, people. I hope you viewers are enjoying this as much as me and Hamish are, because we are absolutely having a blast. The way these boys are driving, the respect they're giving each other, and how tight they're battling. The aggression on the curves tonight, Hamish, has been the biggest I've seen all season.
Oh, man, the amount of curve strikes, you'd think they're in an 8-round main event with just hitting it out with the curves. Like, they are not giving any reprieve.
You talking Tyson and Jake Paul?
I reckon Jake Paul's getting knocked out.
I reckon he's going to hit the bitumen, mate, and
he's
going to hit
the deck. He is going to hit the deck against. I saw Tyson training. And even at his age, I would not want to line up ahead of Tyson.
No. If he doesn't beat him, he'll bite his ear off.
Bro, the chat saying,
let's go, the white flag.
Blake. Love you, Blake. So, Mr. Fitzpatrick still batting this out. It'll be final lap of the race, ladies and gentlemen. This should be white flag. It is indeed. So, Stephen Kennedy leads the way as we come on to the final lap. It's then Jamie Davis and Blake Fitzpatrick. These guys are in an intensifying battle here on the final lap. Championship implications for Fitzpatrick. He's getting a heap of points over the amateur leader of the championship, that being
100%.
Daniel Schultz. Davis, though, is out of the championship battle. Kennedy is gaining points on his teammate Darren Crosby, who's now up into P9.
Blake, I believe in you, he says. Oh, what was that?
That was a big blink there.
Big blink. Looked like he would get a cross up on the back of him then. Oh, just quickly. Oh, no, you can't. Daly and Mole are having an epic fight at the back there as well.
Yeah, I'm sorry to those boys.
No, Daly's just lost the rear end.
Oh,
yep, he's just lost the rear end. He was down to 2/10. He's down to 6/10 now. But Kennedy has got himself another podium.
He's blinking hard. He's blinking
Yeah,
hard. So
he's-
he just needs to be able to survive this last lap.
Yep.
As we come up into one of the other tough sections of this track, the real fast-paced chicane. Massive curb strike there from Kennedy, and the blinking is not getting any better for the M1 driver. Can he survive 3 more corners to take the victory out here tonight in the feature race, or will Jamie go 2 from 2 for Team SRW? Kennedy's in. I bet you've got your fingers crossed right now, Sinker, being like, oh, come on, have that disconnect happen right here on the last corner.
Have you noticed how quiet I am?
Yeah, I know.
Kennedy
I know.
has gone a bit wide, but he is going to make it right through. I think he's kept it clean tonight. He's done a great job. Jamie's just hit those curbs like he has all night and just make sure. Oh, look at that slide out in the back there by Blake Fitzpatrick. Sensational effort by the AM driver to finish on the podium tonight. I think that's the highest finish we've had for the AMs all season,
You know
mate.
what that
Correct me
means
if I'm wrong.
You know what that means as well, Sinker?
What?
Cuts down on the amount of people we get to talk to tonight. We only have to talk to 5 people now. Unfortunately, Rick Viger doesn't get to come and have a chat to us. But Vanderkren has actually let him pass, which is what I thought they would do. The team game, let Viger through, get the points he needs over Crosby. That's 5 positions over Crosby here tonight. So it's not really going to pull out a massive chunk on Crosby's lead, being that it was 75 points prior to this race. But it is just going to give him a little bit less breathing room coming into the Enduro next week. So, and knowing as well that next week he cannot drop that round. So we'll have to wait and see.
PR boys did a good night. We always seem to get a team that dominates the night. Tonight was definitely dominated by the PR boys. And also very nicely done by the Team SRW boys as well.
Unfortunately for Brett Taylor, he misses out on a 4th podium in a row. Unfortunately for him, if he hadn't have had that knock with Martin, he probably would have actually had him in the end, but unfortunately he was a little bit overzealous and just had a little bit of a bump and run. But it was a good race nonetheless. Definitely better than what I personally expected here tonight, Sinker, but Kennedy takes out the chocolates, and it was a good run.
I'm looking at some of the times of some of the drivers that have been contending. Like Crosby tonight, I'm not sure he had the right setup. His fastest lap was a 1:41.15. So I'm not sure where it was going wrong for Crosby tonight. Cowan was pretty much right on pace with him too, 1:41.1. So it was one of those nights where he probably could have done better. But it's good to see a bit of a shake-up, a mix-up in the finishes.
So what this will mean now is Blake Fitzpatrick will now go into the final round of the championship leading the way. He will go in with a significant points advantage over Daniel Schultz, who led it all the way up to this final round. And now, after some fantastic finishes the past couple of weeks, including a win last time out, Fitzpatrick now finds himself top of the leaderboard for the amateurs. Darren Crosby will remain top of the points for the Pro-Ams, but as mentioned, Rick Viger has just kind of lurked in a little bit closer to what those points were. But I think Crosby still got one hand on that trophy, and he did what he needed to tonight, and that is break down the amount of positions between him and Viger and limit the amount of points that were going to be gained off the back of that as well. So, but it was good to see.
All 100% good to see. I hope the viewers out there enjoyed it as much as me and you did, mate. Lots of people are out there giving Fitzy a good pound and back, and so they should be. An excellent drive there from the AM driver to finish on the podium. A lot of love being shouted out everywhere, and thank you all for coming in and participating and joining the broadcast with me and Hamish. It's always great to have everyone chatting and chin wagging in the background. I don't see anyone ready in the
they're probably all just pulling up at the moment. We'll wait for them to come in, but until they do, we will run through our feature race results here tonight for round number 8. Stephen Kennedy will take out victory for M1 Racing here in our second race of the night, ahead of Jamie Davis in P2, who will win the round for Team SRW Motorsports. And only single did you get your first team win here tonight, you also got your first round win, so that's a good result there for Mr. Davis.
Happy boss.
Blake Fitzpatrick will come home P3 on the road, P1 for the amateurs. A real breakout moment here tonight for Fitzy. We'll see what he can do next week out at Sebring. And then it's Rick Viger in P4 ahead of his Angry Birds Racing teammate Peter Vanderkran in P5. Viger, as mentioned, gaining some crucial points over Crosby in the championship. And then Billy Mole and Travis Daly, those guys were battling it out all night on track, and you could not separate them in the end. It was P6 and P7 for both of them. Only 0.2 of a second separated them across the line. It is then Troy Dooley in P8 with Darren Crosby in behind him, with Andrew Cowan making up the top 10. With only one amateur in the top 10 in the end, it was Peter Pavlovic outside the 10 in P11, with Daniel Schultz P2 on the road for the amateurs, P12 on track. And that now drops him out of the lead of that amateur championship, as mentioned. Scotty Weston then separates P2 and P3 of the amateurs. He comes home P13. Stephen Martin will come in P14, P3 for the amateurs on the road, with Brett Taylor in P15 here tonight. Daniel Clutterbuck will then come home in P16. Marty Hansen and Craig Healy in behind them, with Josh King out of P19. It will then be Sean Vandermeulen and Brad Anderson making up the rest of our grid. Big thank you to Tyson McAvoy and Thomas Freeman, our race controllers. And to Stephen Sinkovic for coming in here and having a chin wag whilst we commentate this race here tonight. Our amateur provisional results: Blake Fitzpatrick P1 to Daniel Schultz to Stephen Martin. Brett Taylor, unfortunately, the run ends for him of podiums in a row, but he'll come home P4 with Josh King, Sean Vandermeulen, and Brad Anderson in behind. And then for our Pro-Ams here tonight, this is how they lined up. It was Kennedy to Davis to Viger. Vanderkran and Mole make up the 5. Daly, Dooley, Crosby, Cowan, and Pavlovic make up the 10. Weston, Clutterbuck, Hansen, and Healy make up the rest of the grid. So I think it was a great night of racing from them all. We've got a couple of drivers in there. We will bring them in one at a time, starting out with Mr. Stephen Martin. Mr. Martin, a bit of a controversial end to this race here tonight. Now, I said on the broadcast, when not only were you, well, not when you were given the redress, because I thought that one was fair, but from a broadcaster or a viewer's perspective, when they let Weston back in behind you, I was like, oh, come on, let Taylor and Martin fight this out. But from a racing point of view, it was the correct decision. And but in the end, you still got P3, and you continue this run of some good finishes for Performance Esports.
Yeah, look,
Pacific
it was,
Esports, I should say.
it's good. All good. It was, it's good battle with the boys. Scotty's probably a bit quicker there later in the race. I was struggling a bit. I've kind of used this excuse a couple of times this season, but I'd literally got the track about an hour and a half before the race started, so I'd never driven it before. Kind of my teammates helped try to get me up to speed and follow them around for a few laps and try to, get up to like a race pace in the shortest amount of time possible. So I definitely knew I had, kind of my own challenge that I'd given myself that was a bit of a handicap. Scotty's just trying to race hard, and it's all good. It's nothing personal on any of the things. I just knew Schultzy, Taylor, we're both kind of in the mix of a few points apart in the championship, and I'm in the middle of 2 contenders for the season, and he was just a cart in the middle that kind of didn't matter to our bigger picture, and just wanted him to go away and let us fight.
Well, mate, obviously it was it was still a good night for you though, getting onto the podium P3. But what a night it was though for your teammate Blake Fitzpatrick. He now jumps both you and Schultzy to get P1 in the championship leading into the final round. There wasn't many points between you guys. Schultzy gained a couple of points on you, but it's going to be all on in the final round of this championship run, being that you and Schultzy are still close together. Blake's a little bit further ahead, and Taylor's kind of we'll say the outside pick for this one. A little bit of a dark horse for it. If he has a good run next week and you guys have a poor one, maybe he snatches it. But it was a good run out there tonight for you. How are you feeling going into the final round? Obviously, Sebring next week. Are you going to get some practice in during the 12-hour this weekend?
I'm not. My I'm at the F1 spectating this weekend, so watching the people that properly know how to do it. So yeah, my practice time's been pretty brief on the sim for the last little bit, so happy to kind of be in the mix of competitive. Fitzy's very well deserved to jump right up into that spot. He's been putting in the time and effort that we all should, and without him, I probably wouldn't have got on the podium tonight because I really kind of just got on his coattails in practice and just tried to keep up. And he'd kind of had himself established a bit over the last few days, and he definitely helped get my speed up there to be in the mix. But he was in his own kind of world on pace from the AM guys today, and definitely deserving of that. All the top few guys are battling really hard. Even right at the end, like I knew that Taylor from watching some of our races back and listening to you guys on some interviews when I haven't been able to make the podium, like he's a guy that does not quit, and you know that if he's within, a braking zone of you on the last couple of laps, he's going to give it everything. So, everybody's kind of making you work hard for it. There's nothing easy, but definitely Fitzy's on fire at the minute, and it's the time and effort he's putting in is definitely showing.
Well, Singer, have you got anything you want to ask Stephen before we let him go here tonight?
I just want a prediction for next weekend, mate. I know you're going to be at V8. Oh, you said you're going to miss the race. You're going to miss the race, or you're going to make it?
I'm 50-50. I kind of didn't really want to divulge because I wanted all the boys to fight it down to the wire. But yeah, my young bloke races go-karts, and I've got a fair bit going on with that. So I'm not certain I'm going to be able to race next week, and I've already copped a drop round, and you can't use them at the end anyway. So I might not actually be able to kind of go through, but I'm going to try to do what I can to, even if it's location-wise, maybe jump on an unfamiliar sim at a mate's or something to just try to see it through and see what happens and support my teammate who's a good chance to give it a red hot shot as well.
Oh mate, if only Dave Arney could airdrop you a rig, that'd be pretty cool, wouldn't it?
That would be great.
Oh mate, let us
Well,
know.
look, mate, either way,
say-
epic year, mate, epic season, I should say. And thank you for showing up every week and putting up a great show for the viewers to watch. I know they appreciate it because everyone gets behind you boys and everyone gets right into the racing on a Tuesday night. So congratulations on that front, mate.
No, thanks, boys. Enjoyed getting back into it consistently. I'd kind of had a patchy last year or two after having a good couple of years before that, and just getting on every week and being a part of what you guys do has been heaps of fun just to get back to regular racing.
Very good, mate. Well, let us know who's giving you and Pacific Esports Racing the support out there. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well, mate?
Well, yeah, just well done to Fitzy, and thanks to him and Pav for just helping me get up to speed, especially this week without doing the laps. I wouldn't have been anywhere without them kind of trying to help get me there quickly. So, but all the boys in the team, even the ones that aren't racing in this league, they're doing plenty of stuff in other stuff and GTs, and always send us messages of support before and after the race, and watch all the broadcasts and get around it. So the whole team really supports each other in all the different classes and leagues and everything, and that support's awesome. But Lake Edge, the whole team, Tim Nickel Photography, Bin the Blade, and just you guys for what you do, heaps of fun, and all the other boys, it's fun racing, especially those top few in the AMs. We get frustrated with each other from time to time, but it's kind of all respect and fun, with just plenty of hard-nosed battles.
Excellent, mate. Well, thanks for coming over chat to us once again. Massive congratulations, and hopefully we can see you out there next week. Otherwise, best of luck for next season.
Cheers, guys. Thank you.
Thanks, mate.
Good luck, mate. All righty.
Mr.
Who's next, Hamish?
Schultz. Mr. Daniel Schultz. So, Schultzy, race 1, possibly a race to forget, but race 2, you sunk your teeth into it, got into some good battles. And even though you dropped quite a few points to Fitzy there in the second race for the championship, you're still within this fight to the end, mate. So how was race 2 for you?
Race 2 was actually a lot better. I just got distracted in that first race day. That can go in the bin. Race 2 was pretty good. We had a set plan this time for a pit strategy, and it actually paid off. It was basically a copycat
amazing
strategy.
what a good strategy pays off, eh?
Oh, mate. It's amazing.
It's
Don't worry about it, man. English isn't great tonight. I'm so wrecked.
That's all right, mate. I mean...
Did you get a bit of white line fever tonight, mate?
Yeah, I did, mate. I went back to the old, just send it and forget it, right?
I did say that on stream that he's gone back to the beast. Let the beast out tonight.
Yeah, a little bit. It wasn't the smartest thing to do, but I did it.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
look, it's happened. It's gone. It's finished. So you just move on and go on to the next one now.
That's it, mate.
well, I mean, in enduro action next time out, Schultzy, still plenty of chances for you to be able to make back up those points that you've now lost on Fritzy. I mean, you're leading the way into this round. Unfortunately, you've now lost the lead of the championship, but the battle's still on. And I'd say, after hearing what Stephen was saying to us about how much Fritzy's putting in the practice, you might need to just cut some laps, really sink your teeth into Sebring and maximise how much you know that track in a supercar. Because it's going to be an intense battle all the way between you and those PER boys, as well as Taylor as well, the outside pick. So, but how are you feeling going into the final round, mate? Obviously, big night of racing. If you can make that shootout, it's going to give you an even better chance to get a better start over Fritzy. But how are you feeling going into Sebring?
Mate, I love Sebring. Sebring's one of my favourite tracks. The concrete surface, all the bumps, just makes life a lot of fun. In these supercars, your braking zones markers are always changing. Tire degradation's super high, and then you go to the tarmac, and it's the airfield's insane.
Well, I'd say then, looking at how well the strategy played out for you tonight, we actually had a set pit stop strategy. Next week will be crucial for you, mate. Just try and get that up in line for Sebring being such a long race, and we know how important strategies have been throughout even the regular rounds we've had this season. So I think next week it's going to be all or nothing for you, and hopefully it can work out in your benefit in this championship battle. Thinking about this season, mate, and going into next season, what's one thing you reckon that you're going to try and improve upon coming into season 2 after next week?
Consistency, mate. That's the biggest thing. Consistency. Lap times are up and down and all over the shop, so the closer I can get those, the better it would be.
Very good, mate. Well, let us know who's giving you and Performance Sim Racing the support out there. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well, mate? Unfortunately for your cohort, Andrew Cowan tonight, he had a bit of a rough night out on track, and but you showed up in the end and you managed to get that podium in the second race. So congratulations.
Nah, cheers, mate. Yeah, look, just thank Mr. McAvoy again for welcoming me to the team, and again putting in the work, and all the boys at Performance Sim Racing for assisting with setups and slight different direction changes and where to go to make us all better drivers. But yeah, tonight I'd like to thank Toyo Sim, Too Easy Finance, West End Mazda, Track Racer, Parramatta Isuzu. Talk to me, hashtag Talk to Me Bro. Make sure you jump on that one. It's very important. Cowie, the solo acoustic rock artist, absolute awesome, and West End Motor Group, and all the team here at SRW. Thank you, boys, so much.
Mate, thanks for coming.
Pleasure having you, mate.
Oh, mate.
Good luck for the rest of the season, dude.
That's all good, boys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, mate. And we shall now bring in our P1 for the amateurs, P3 on the road. In a breakout moment for him here tonight, it's Blake Fitzpatrick. Fitzy, mate, what a run it was for you in that final race. Led most of the way. Unfortunately, just lost it in the end to Kennedy and to Davis. But, you now lead this championship for the amateurs going into the final round. How special does that feel, mate, to not only get another win in the amateurs, but to get onto the overall podium here tonight?
Yeah, that one's pretty special, I reckon. 3 in a row, and then to finish it on 3rd on overall podium. It's pretty good.
Mate, you're going to need a double-wide trophy cabinet for what you're getting, recently.
I wish, mate. I wish.
But, how'd you feel out there tonight? Obviously, race 1, bit of a shorter affair, no strategy into it, but race 2, you led from the start, you started on pole, broke away, and then you had the Pro-Am boys of Davis and Kennedy chasing you down.
Yeah, those guys are unreal. They're too quick. It was good. Clean air, just like last week. So just able to do my thing. I done heaps of practice this week, so that obviously paid off. Pretty satisfying to watch that pay off.
Well, we spoke to Stephen. Obviously, he said you've been putting in the practice over the last couple of weeks, so it's good to see that it is paying off for you now. Obviously, next week out at Sebring, Enduro Action, top 10 shootout. How are you feeling going into that race? And how are you feeling with that car track combination? Obviously, the real composite track kind of layout. It's the mixture of concrete, bit of tarmac, and then a bit of both in certain sections as well.
I haven't got too many laps at Sebring. That'll be one I'll have to put in more practice for, and hopefully just salvage some points next week. Get to the end, I think.
Well, mate, it's been a mega run for you this season, of course. You lead the championship going into the final round, so after a great effort from you the last couple of weeks, we wish you the best of luck in the final round next time out. Let us know who's giving you and Pacific Esports Racing the support, although Stephen did already run through the sponsors, so if you want to leave them out, I'm sure Stephen will be all right with that, but that's up to you as well. But anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well?
I heard Stephen, he always does a good job mentioning our sponsors, so leave that to him. But just our boys from Pacific Esports, they're awesome. They do a lot for pretty much. If anyone's driving any night of the week, you've got 10 other blokes in a group chat trying to get the most out of them. So it's just good to be a part of.
Very good, mate. Well, congratulations once again on an epic performance here tonight. It's been a real breakout moment for you. Best of luck out at Sebring, and if we don't speak to you, best of luck in Season 2 of 2024.
Easy, boys. Thank you.
Thanks, mate. All right, Sinker, we'll drag in Mr. Davis now. Jamie Davis on re-debut this week. He's gone to the dark side. He's gone to Team SRW. But you get another podium and you win the round, mate, after a win in the first race, P2 in the second. You're just going up in the world. I don't think you're going to be a pro-am for very long, I'm going to be honest. I think you might be back in the pros next season.
Thank you, Hamish. Well, the reason why I'm back here is because I work Sunday nights. So, I'm not allowed to race Tuesdays. I can't race at all.
Yeah, well, he hasn't won the title yet, so he's still safe.
Technicalities, Sinker. Technicalities. No, mate, it's been a great run from you so far. Obviously, you're out of this championship battle, but you're still in there for the glory. You know, go home or go hard or go home sort of deal. But it's been an exceptional run from you so far. Talk us through the decision for coming into Team SRW and why maybe you went to those boys, maybe opposed to another team that may have offered you anything at any other point. I didn't offer him anything. I didn't actually offer him anything. I just meant in general.
Well, Steve was pestering for quite a few weeks, as you know, but the selling point was just, everyone jumped in and had some fun.
Yeah, that's exactly right, mate.
Yeah.
Look, it's talent there. He's a good driver. We're trying to build some quality drivers in there. We've got Mitch Noble, who needs some educating in iRacing, and I think Jamie will help him get across. He's like a very accomplished Assetto Corsa driver, so he'll do very well from Jamie. And Jamie's also helping, Kingy and Anderson as well. So it's a good little atmosphere. We only accept people that have got a certain element about themselves. They respectfully race. They're fast. They're clean. They're hard. I guess Schultzy, that's why you did.
What element do you bring to the team, them Sinker? If those are the elements you're looking for a driver,
mate. I don't bring anything to this team apart from the fact that I'll do whatever I can to help them, and maybe I'll learn something on the way. But Jamie's already an accomplished driver, mate. An excellent effort, mate. I've been trying to find my mobile phone all night, Jamie, to take a snapshot and send it to Warren and Brown because it's their first round win and first podium in the V8 Supercars.
Oh, that's awesome that I could grab that for them.
No, they'll be stoked, mate. It'll be on their wall. They'll probably talk about it tomorrow if I don't forget while I'm doing all the other stuff tonight after this. But congratulations, mate. Your fan club is growing. Let me tell you. Even the boys as well. All the girls are getting, the mums are getting behind it, the families are getting behind it. Everyone's getting behind it, which is really good to see.
Yeah, since I tuned in for the tribute livery race, I think I gained some fans out of it. They actually quite really enjoyed it, the realism of it all and everything, and just the whole thing's great.
Are you all in the same house at the moment, where when the race is on, can you hear them in the background?
No, I'm by myself in my house at the moment, and they're all had dinner together and sit in front of the TV to watch.
Oh, that's sick. That's cool. Hopefully they're bringing out the popcorn and the cans and having a bit of a laugh about it all, because it seems like they're enjoying it. That's for sure.
Definitely a couple of beers like myself.
Well, it's good to hear, mate. I know that you know who the sponsors are, mate. Do you want to give them a shout out?
Thank you to Warren Brown, Shannon's, Grim Industries, NeuroPower, and DSL Railway Services. Thank you, lads.
Thank you, mate. Well, congratulations on an epic debut for Team SRW and a round win as well, which is really cool. Next week is the Enduro. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, I'll have to acclimatise from a prototype car on Saturday for the 12-hour and adjust back to the supercar for Tuesday.
The top 10 shootout. Have you done one of those?
Yeah, I did 2 of them for SRW my first season and absolutely bottled both of them.
All right, so that'll be a good test. But you know what? Everyone will be in the same boat. Everyone will be under pressure. It's going to be a big round of a lot of points to be won. So it's going to be a lot of fun, mate. Look, we'll let you go because I can chin wag all night. Congratulations on an epic race tonight, and thanks for coming on board after so much pestering that I gave you. And I just want to make sure you guys have fun. So good stuff, mate, and take care.
Thank you very much. Just a huge congratulations to Kingy and Brad. They've both shown improvements this week. Kingy was in the top 10 for a fair bit in the race 1, but yeah, hopefully it's onwards and upwards.
Well, I think Kingy got a podium in the first heat. I think he finished 3rd in the AMS.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. So he got his first podium, that's for sure. So
I'm not sure he knows that, so I'll pass that on.
Yeah. In the AMS for the first heat, he got I think he finished 3rd. So he did really well. So it was well done. All right, mate, we'll let you go. Give the boys a pat on the back and we'll chat soon.
All right, thanks, Hamish. Thanks, Steve. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, mate.
Mr. Stephen Kennedy, after a epic rundown on the back of Blake Fitzpatrick, you managed to sneak your way past, gain some important points over your teammate Darren Crosby after he had an absolute melon of a race. But, the flowers go to you tonight, mate. I mean, what a run it was for you, getting up on the top of the podium, P1 in race number 2. How does that feel for you, mate?
Oh, feels great. But I reckon if the race went another lap, I'd be sitting in P2 because Jamie was coming hard and fast at me, and I had no tyres left at the end of that race. So yeah, it was a struggle there the last couple of laps. I was lucky Blake and him got tangled up a bit there for a couple of laps, so it gave me a bit of breathing space, so I could sort of give the tyres a bit of a rest, and worked out well. But yeah, Daz had a shocker.
Oh, man,
Yeah, he was
I reckon
actually.
that's understatement of the century, isn't it? I mean,
He was
turn
the
1.
second off your pace, mate, tonight. So
Yeah,
I'm not sure what was going on there.
Yeah, he was pretty good in qualifying and practice and that, but he didn't get any practice during the week. That was, I think, the only practice he got was the 2 hours before the race tonight. So he done well to sort of be consistent. So,
Geez, real world sucks, doesn't it?
oh, I hate it. Yeah. Tell me about it. I've just been sitting here thinking, come on, you guys, I've got to go to bed. I've got to get up early in the morning.
I know. I get the same feeling, and it just it does my head in as well. It's one of those things. Look, mate, you're making a habit of this podium business.
Oh yeah, I think this is my actual first win in a feature. Actually, I've won a couple of the minor ones.
Minor ones, yeah, could be, mate.
Yeah,
could be. Oh, congratulations again! Starting to make some.
See?
Are you starting to lead the team now, or what? It seems to be that your pace is obviously Crosby's not, like you said, probably practice is a bit down at the moment. Real world's getting away, but it seems like your pace is getting a bit quicker than him at the moment.
Yeah, as I said, I've probably had a bit more time to sort of practice the last week or two than what Daz has been doing. He's been busy around home and that. So, but Daz has got a knack of sort of jumping on and being pretty consistent. So that's where he beats me. I'm usually a fraction quicker than him in 1 lap race pace.
Yep.
But when it comes to race pace, he normally puts them down pretty consistent. So, and as you sort of know, I make sort of a mistake here and there, going through 12 and 13, nearly running up the back of Blake. So that scared me a bit. But yeah,
Tell me where's Ty Byrne these days? Is he still racing?
I think he's on holidays. I don't know whether it was an old post on Facebook, but he's in Japan. But that could be an old post. But so that's probably why he's not racing.
I was going to say, because
we haven't heard much of him.
Yeah, he's taking liberties, is he? That's all right.
Yeah, I think so. We see Chris occasionally. Chris real world problems there. He's working, so but he jumps on. He done a fair few laps last night. A practice session I put up and set up a setup for us, so which was good.
No, he's been in and about on sort, so it's good to see him out there. Well, congratulations, mate. M1 are really setting this series alight. Doing really, really well. Do you want to give Crosby a plug?
Oh, I'll have to. Yep, M1 Used Cars up Slate Creek, up Brisbane. Yep, M1 Racing, the boys, Daz and Chris, as I said. Chris setting up, doing the setups for us has been great, and obviously thank admins, Race Control, and Warren Brown and Tools.
Yeah, you're a legend, mate.
All the guys in the race too. They after the first couple of laps, when it all gets sorted, there's some pretty good racing out there.
Mate, it is epic stuff. Watching you guys battle it out, 1/10, 2/10, gap between you, and the way you guys drive has been sensational. Absolutely loving it.
Yeah, it has been great fun actually.
Excellent, mate. Well, thank you again. Congratulations on your first feature podium, and good luck next week in the Enduro. Make sure Crosby gets some seat time, mate, because we want to see him battle it out for the championship.
I think we might be practicing a bit over the weekend.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, dude. Take care.
Thanks,
all the best.
Thanks, Hamish.
Thanks, mate.
Yeah.
Well, Sinker,
Hamish.
after an epic season it's been so far, we come into our final round next week out at Sebring, and what a round it's going to be, mate. It is all on the table for both championships. A little bit closer in the AMs than it is to the Pro-Ams, but it's going to be an epic night of racing next time out with our Enduro action coming our way.
Well, I don't know about you, mate, but I'm absolutely stuffed. That was that was a great race, a great way for a Tuesday night. They always leave us on the edge of our seats, and the respect and hard racing out there has been next to none. And I hope the viewers out there enjoyed it as much as we did. Please don't forget, like and subscribe, and support us where you can. And Hamish, we've already gone through it already. We're here 6 nights a week, hopefully extending it a bit more if we can hook up the right sponsors to cover the series expenses. But big week this week of the penultimate round going across all series. So please tune in at 8 p.m. every night. There's always something on. There's Hamish on here, or the JP's on here, Cowie's on here, myself. So there's plenty of people to laugh at, as well as to be at awe of the driving quality that SRW is offering out there at the moment.
Well, mate, it's going to be a massive round 8 this round. Tomorrow night, ladies and gentlemen, we go into F3 action, the second last Formula 3 round before we say goodbye to the Formula 3s from SRW. Before bringing in the SF24, it's our third round of the Formula 1 Shadow Series. But the 8th round of this season for the F3s. Phillip Island sprint action on offer for you tomorrow night. It's going to be an epic race. Thursday night for the Toyota GR86 as we head out to Fuji in the GP circuit layout. They run their regular super sprint action, 3 20-minute races around Fuji. Should be epic. Then Friday night, the big one is Sebring out at for the Warren Brown Tools IMSA Shadow Series, of course, shadowing the fact that the Sebring 12-hour is this Saturday on iRacing. It's going to be a nice little precursor. I predict a heap of drivers to join that one. So be sure to not miss that action. 7:50 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. Sunday night, we'll be back here at Magny Cours for the V8 Supercars Pro-Am Series brought to you by Warren Brown Tools. And then Monday night, some epic action out of the Motorsport Australia Formula Vs out at Charlotte Motor Speedway around the Legends Road Course long variant. You'll see that all of the streams have already been pre-made, so they're already up on the channel. All you got to do is just set your reminder. Just a little bit of query maybe for the Formula V one. The only reason the track map is not on there is it is impossible to find that track layout without having the other layouts on the map. So it just has the track logo for that one. So that's the only reason why that's like that. But it's been a massive season so far. Cinco going to be a massive final 2 rounds to come. And a massive final round for the V8 Supercars Series next Tuesday night. Be sure to tune in, ladies and gentlemen. 7:50 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Savings Time. We will go live next Tuesday night for the final round. It'll be Enduro action, top 10 shootout action. out at Sebring. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us once again. For myself, Hamish Munro, and Stephen Sinkovic alongside, we appreciate your time. We appreciate you being here with us. We'll see you tomorrow night for the Shannon's Insurance Formula 3 Nationals. Stay safe and drive hard.
This is amazing. I was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mostert and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because, tell you what, Bruce Tanak and Jamie Dyke just absolutely drove away from